What is good, folks? Cheryl, thank you so much for the $6.99 Canadian dollars, man. Shit. Cheers to that. Everybody shout out Cheryl for the love. Okay, we got Dreadhead in this bitch. We got Jamie. I know Lisa's in here. Irish Pastry. Welcome in, everybody. We're over here just waiting for the Stephan Stearns situation, and I think we're going to cover this mom and dad interview. I've been getting asked a lot to cover the interview, so we're definitely going to cover that while we wait. But, as per usual, these things take a little while to start. They're always late with this shit, so, they always late with this shit. But welcome in, folks. Muffins Mimi in the building. Jessica Sessions. What is up? Boo, I see you. How you doing, man? Barbara Ann. Mark. Welcome in, Mark. Man, we got ourselves a situation today, man. So remember, this is the CSAM trial. This is the trial for Stephan Stearns with all the photos. And this is how they double fuck you. Because they could have easily just made this a murder trial, but I think they wanted to... they wanted to double fuck him to make sure if anything goes wrong with either trial, we have two chances to bury this little bitch boy. And that's exactly what they finna do. They're gonna bury him alive. Hold on, let me check. Big Bear, Bald Eagle, Live. Oh no, that's different. Let me check real quick before we get into this before we get into this interview. Now, if you guys recall, we did this interview, I think it was like a year ago. But a lot of people didn't see me cover it. So while we wait, we could definitely look into it. Let me just type in Stephan Stearns. Yeah, see, Stephan Stearns seeks to block key phone evidence in court hearing. Oh, it's happening? Oh, it just started. Yup, it just started. Hold on.
Stephan Stearns. S-T-E-R-N-S.
And Mr. Stearns,
he's back, baby.
I did.
During your contact with law enforcement, did they seize or take an item from you?
Yes, they did.
What item was that?
That would be my cell phone.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, we're going to have pauses. Oh, well, I'm not going to be able to keep up live. Listen, I love this shit because they're going over the same shit about Stephan Stearns and them unlawfully taking that phone. You know damn motherfucking well that he willingly gave that phone away. But let's continue. You little bitch boy. Listen, this is a bigger man if you guys didn't realize. I still think I could take him. He's a pussy. Shit. He like 6'2" or some shit? Probably got some pounds on me. I'd still beat his ass.
What type of phone it was?
It was a Samsung Galaxy. I believe it was a 24.
And what was your understanding, if any, as to what they were going to do with it?
They were just going to check my Google Maps and check to see if I was logged into Google, and that was it. That was all I
They were going to check my Google Maps, and they didn't tell me that they were going to extract the data. It was only supposed to be Google Maps, and I thought I erased everything properly already, so... But I guess I didn't because I'm in prison.
Man, I hope they fuck the shit out of him. Let me not. I hope they rat fuck the shit out of him.
Were you shown, or did they have...
No, I don't. Actually, for YouTube purposes only, I do not hope they do that. I wish him a peaceful existence.
Warrant?
They did not.
No further questions, Judge.
Thank you. Any cross requested?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Fennell?
I have just a moment.
Yes.
Take your time, sweetie. We got all day. Shit, I cleared my schedule. I recorded my videos from last night to cover this. Shit, I'm here with you. Take your time.
Mr.
I barely even
Stearns,
have sleep on this shit.
You briefly discussed having a conversation or being interviewed by Detective Tagler and Detective Acosta on February 27th.
These microphones suck dick, by the way. I'm just gonna point that out. They suck absolute smelly cock. But let's continue.
Correct, of last year.
That's correct.
And pursuant to the questions you were just asked, you had indicated that you did not consent to the search of your cell phone?
I consented only to them looking at the Google Maps and checking to see if I was logged into Google in the first place.
Did you have the opportunity?
He only consented to them using Google Maps. Bro, man, let me get some water. How are you going to only consent to a certain thing? They asked him to search his phone. That's it. It's almost like, you can search my house, but you see that safe right there? Say I killed somebody, right? And the police come and they say, yeah, we want to search your house. May we search the house or do we need a warrant? And I tell them, yeah, you could search my house, but see that gun safe right there? You can't search that. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's either we're doing it or we're not.
To see what law enforcement
What's
was
up,
doing on
Leanne?
this.
How you doing?
No, Acosta was still talking to me. Tagler walked away and began searching all the things that I did not consent to.
Isn't it true that she actually handed your phone back to you?
Briefly, when she told me to input my PIN because it had locked itself.
And Detective Tagler actually mentioned looking at your history, which you okayed, correct? Your Honor, can we approach?
Yeah, come
How's that outside of the scope? Hold on, let's back it up. Because he said, oh no, I only allowed him to look at my Google Maps. And then she's going to ask, well, didn't he also ask to look at your browser history? How is that outside of the fucking scope? Man, defense need to smoke a blunt and just let this shit happen because you're going to lose regardless. I mean, sweetheart, your job is not going to fire you. Your firm is not going to fire you because you lost this one, okay? You joined the losing battle.
Tagler actually mentioned looking at your history, which you okayed, correct? Your Honor, can we approach?
Yeah.
What's up, Mary Carter? Welcome in, ma'am. So basically, they don't have anything. Defense is trying to pull a fast one. They want this to happen in 2026. They want this to happen in 2026 or 2027 or 2028. That's when they want this to happen.
The cell phone in question was in fact your cell phone.
Thank you. Can you redirect? Thank you. Argument, state. Court's going to find that there has been record evidence to establish that Mr. Stern was the person that was affected by an alleged violation of his Fourth Amendment rights, that the property alleged in that violation was admitted to be his, and I'm going to find that the burden has indeed shifted to the state regarding the defense's motion to suppress evidence obtained.
Okay, notes for the court. Y'all, figure that shit out, boy. Like, you mean to tell me the most high-profile case in a couple of years has the shittiest fucking audio in a while? Like, come on, figure that shit out. Judge, we can't fucking hear you. Anyways, I hate... Bro, you send people to prison for eternities in this little courtroom. You mean to tell me you can't get the mics figured out? Fuck.
Unlawful seizure and search of the cell phone. State, do you anticipate presenting witnesses or evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. I call your first witness.
The state will call Detective Francis.
Shout out to Judge though. They need to fix that. I don't know who works with the audio technology, but every courtroom has a fucking problem. The only courtroom that didn't have a problem was Darrell Brooks in Wisconsin. That was clean and crispy. Everybody else has a fucking audio problem. Let me check something. Testing. Testing. Hold on. Testing. There we go. I upped the desktop audio, so hopefully that helps.
Of course.
Playing some Dying Light. Shout you out, Mr. Dreadhead.
Attorneys on both sides are welcome to move about the well as they need to.
Good afternoon. Will you please say your first and last name and spell both of them for the record?
Oh, we can hear now. Ha We can hear now.
Francis, Francis, Hunt, Hunt.
How are you employed?
I'm a detective with the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
What was your assignment with the Orange County Sheriff's Office in February of 2024?
I was and am currently assigned to the Domestic Crime Squad.
How long have you been assigned to that particular squad?
About a year and a half.
How long have you been with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
About 5 years.
Were you assigned to the investigation into
Testing.
Madeline Soto, who was reported missing?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have the opportunity to come into contact with somebody identified as Stephan Stearns?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you have contact with Mr. Stearns?
The cockroach himself, Stephan Stearns. The fucking mouse. Shit, the mouse Stephan Stearns. He squeaks when he moves around, too. You said Stinky Steven be looking rough. I know the judge be calling him Steven a lot. Thanks, AG and Mods. Thank you, DD, for the $2. Nah, that boy, he depressed. He not bathing. What's a bath? Who needs a bath? What's up, Chief?
The morning of February 26th, 2024.
February 26th, the Monday, or February 27th, the Tuesday?
I believe it was the Monday, it was actually the Tuesday morning, I'm sorry.
Tuesday. At the time that you had contact with Mr. Stearns, had the Orange County Sheriff's Office already been investigating the disappearance of 13-year-old Madeline Soto?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have contact with Mr. Stearns and conduct an interview about 12 in the afternoon on February 27th of 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
Yo, Megadose, the Outsider Artist. Thank you so much for the big $2, man. Shout her out for the super sticker. Showing love out here. Stop playing with her.
And can you describe Mr. Stearns' demeanor during your encounter with him?
Nothing particularly notable. He seemed to have...
Bit of
I
a
think
pussy.
He had just woken up about an hour before I made contact with him. He was an average demeanor, nothing particularly notable about it.
Was he cooperative with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Was he able to speak coherently to you and answer questions appropriately?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he seem to have any difficulty understanding the conversation that you guys were having?
Not at all.
Was this interaction that you had with Mr. Stearns audio?
Because they're trying to make sure, like, was he a mouth breather? Was he low on IQ? Did you manipulate him to give you the phone? You know, this is so sad. Stephan is out here trying anything. But at the same time, I wouldn't even say if I was in that situation, because God damn it, I'm never in my life. Ew. Even thinking about being in a situation like that. But if you were in a situation like that, you would try some shit like this too. Let's just keep it 100. You would try anything, and that's exactly what they're trying, is anything.
It was.
Where were you at when you had this interaction with him?
I was at his home or at Jennifer Soto's home in Kissimmee. We were in my vehicle.
Was this located at 4012 Santa Maria Drive in
That's it.
Kissimmee? And was anybody else present during your conversation?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, I would like to approach the witness with state's name for identification.
Happy Hamper Day, AG. Stay safe, I guess. Awesome.
Did you have an
Nice to catch you early. Love the POV. Yo, appreciate you, Jen.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it a fair and accurate recording of the conversation that you had with Mr. Stearns on February 27th of 2024 at approximately noon?
Yes, ma'am.
Humper Day.
Introducing the evidence, what's been marked states A for identification, and the evidence is states 1.
No objection. A as an alpha will be received as stage 1 for purposes of this hearing.
During your interaction
Sis said proven until guilty until proven a pervert. So wait, let's just call it now. Guilty as charged. Listen, it is what it is. He's guilty, but we gotta put that little allegedly back there, because that's how our justice system works, and we should respect the justice system. But I'll tell you one thing: if he ever gets out, because he's not a violent man, if they ever put him out on public grounds, bro, they're going to be tearing his shit up. They're going to be, he's going to get that behavior that he was given to Madeline tenfold. I'm talking veiny, buff. All they do is work out, testosterone, fucking caged in for 20 years. He's going to make himself some friends. And, he's going to make himself some friends. I don't know if it's going to be friends for him, but they'll be friends for them.
You had indicated that you believe, well, actually here in court today, you indicated that you believed he woke up about an hour before you had contact with him?
I believe so.
What makes you say that?
I had first completed an interview with Jennifer Soto. I had gone back to my vehicle to make a phone call, and I think Stephan was upstairs in the home while I was interviewing.
What's up, Mama
Jennifer.
T?
When I had gone back in, he walked back down from upstairs and said that he had recently woken up within the hour.
Of course he just woken up. He had just woken up. All he does is sleep. I'm surprised that Jen Soto didn't fucking just wake up when he approached her.
Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
So just to be clear, when you're doing this interview, you're inside of the house, right?
I was in my vehicle.
Okay. When you first met with Mr. Stearns, you met him inside the house?
In the house, yes, sir.
Okay. And then you took him outside and put him in your vehicle, right?
Yes, sir.
And when you did that, that's when you learned about him being sleepy, it sounds like?
I don't think he was sleepy, but it sounded like he had woken up about an hour prior. Yes.
Okay. Woke up about 11 a.m.? Sounds like he knew he was noonish, right?
Correct.
At any point, did you ever seek a warrant for any of the cell phones or anything in this case?
Oh, no, sir.
Okay. Did you ever look at a cell phone?
No.
Did you ever ask him about a cell phone?
No.
Frequent?
Of course. Motion denied to suppress information. Motion denied. Do we really have to sit here for another? Motion denied.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, who else are they bringing? Probably another detective, to be honest. They're going to bring, like, all the detectives, like 2 or 3 of them.
State calls Detective Myra Tagler.
Yep. I don't know who the fuck Mara Tagler is, but we're going to find out. It's not my birthday. I don't know who said that. It's not my birthday. It's not the 28th either. You'll know when I say it. Some people know. Just found the channel 2 days ago. You're my favorite. Yo, what's up? Republitina. Republitina. I think I know what part of you frequent. I appreciate you, ma'am. Welcome in. Welcome in. Funny. I like the name. Oh, it's the woman. Did we see her? Did we ever see her? I don't think we ever saw her.
Will you please say your first and last name and spell both of them for the record?
Myra Tagler, M-A-I-R-A, last name T-A-G-L-E-R.
How are you employed?
The Orange County Sheriff's Office,
Myra Tagler.
Sheriff's Office.
9 years.
In February of 2024, what was your assignment?
I was assigned to the sex crimes unit.
Are you still assigned to that particular unit now?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been in that unit?
3 years and 2 months.
Why she seem worried?
Were you working in your capacity as a detective in that unit on February 27th of 2024?
Yes.
Did you become involved in the investigation?
You said she's the cop that took possession of the phone. Okay.
Into the missing juvenile named Madeline Soto?
Yes.
How
I was tasked to assist the primary detective at the time, Detective Hunt, with canvassing.
About what time did
Oh, congratulations, Gerda, on your 27th wedding anniversary.
you respond to assist in the investigation?
It was about 4 p.m.
And this was on February 27th.
Yes.
And where is the initial location where you responded to?
It was in Hunters Creek,
Did you respond to a residence in Hunters Creek or somewhere else?
somewhere else.
Did you respond to the command post?
Yes.
When you get to the command post, do you learn any information regarding the investigation?
Yes.
What information do you have after leaving the command post? What information did you get?
I was advised of we have LPRs, which is tag readers, and I was advised of the direction of travel that Stephan's vehicle had traveled the day of the incident.
Were you aware on this date and time that Madeline Soto had not gone to school on February 26th?
Yes.
And this is where it comes into play with him saying that he had a flat tire and he had to go on the edge of the road and he had to change it. This bitch doesn't even know how to change a tire. So how the fuck did you change your tire on the side of the road? I'm pretty confident that Stephan doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Didn't he even say he injured his finger changing the tire, trying to hide shit oh yeah, I was on the side of the street and I think it was his thumb. And my thumb got jammed in the crowbar and man, it's bad. So he's going to be so toasted, guys. I know his parents, they try to rile him up. They try to rile behind him. By the time they're done with this guy, he's going to have, close to 100 years. You got the CSAM shit, and then you got the murder. You're going back there at least 100.
Were you aware that she had not been seen since the morning of February 26th?
Yes.
And the information regarding the tag reader, did law enforcement...
You said he shredded his tire for an alibi? 100%. I mean, he's not the smartest guy on the planet, but a man who plays a lot of video games may have a bit of a distorted view or a distorted reception of how reality really exists. Because in a video game, you could go like this in a barrel, and now all of a sudden you're hidden. The police don't see you. Oh my God, I got away. I'm so good. Stephan Stearns thought he could pull that shit and bring it in real life. In the video games, you go behind the hay bale, and then the guard's like, huh? Where'd he go? And then they just walk away. That doesn't happen in real life. That's from playing too many fucking video games, I promise you. Shit's crazy, but he thought he could stab up his tire and he was going to lead them off the case. Shit's crazy. Yo, Waste is going crazy. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Waste. Okay, everybody shout out Waste for the love, man. Shit, showing love out here. All the new members, shout them out. Okay, appreciate you. To all the new green names, welcome in, welcome in.
Did law enforcement identify the tag that was on a vehicle that the defendant had access to?
Yes.
And what was some information that you got regarding the location of the defendant's vehicle on the morning of February 26th, the Monday?
He had traveled southbound 3 times on South Jungin Parkway towards Kissimmee, which was away from the direction of Madeline School.
Are all of these times early morning and late morning?
Both.
And then did you also get some information that in the afternoon, the car was traveling in and out of St. Cloud, Florida?
Yes.
Specifically, the travel on southbound South John Young Parkway, were those times consistent with what the defendant had described to law enforcement as his location were?
They were not.
And were these, the initial time was around 8:15 in the morning?
I believe it was 8:10.
And then
You say he was playing with too many Tamagotchis? Man, this is a pussy boy. Of course he was playing with too many Tamagotchis. He was probably playing phone games while he was creating his alibi because he just has so much brain rot. He has to have his phone or his fingers moving and twiddling and doing shit. You know what I do because I use computer screens and phones all fucking day. Sometimes I just gotta put it in the corner, turn everything off, airplane mode, just so I can just not be touching something. Stephan Stearns didn't know how to, he didn't know how to help himself. I feel like that's where these weird addictions begin too. I don't know if Stephan was always just a weird fuck. Maybe he was, but I also do think that this shit grows on you with that shit you be watching on them corn sites. Now, I'm not saying I'm pure and perfect. Everybody be watching a little porn, a little shum every, you know what I'm saying? You got to take care of yourself every once in a while. But motherfuckers like Stephan, he was on that shit. Man, listen, I could imagine that man. I could imagine him on them X videos for hours. This is how all this shit started, I feel. This is how all this shit started. It got weirder and weirder and weirder. And all of a sudden, we have pictures of Madeline Soto. That's how that happened, in my opinion. Shit.
There was another one around 10 o'clock in the morning,
Yes.
and then almost around noontime.
Yes.
Thank you. Overruled as to leading. I've got a question. The times that you just gave were for identification of the tag
You guys are funny.
through the LPR system.
And then the afternoon times of going in and out of St. Cloud, do you recall what those were?
I do not.
I watch predators getting caught. Most of them like kid stuff. Definitely. 100%. 100%.
You document those times.
Excuse me. How else are you going to relate to the underaged minor? You know what I'm saying? You have to be into that type of shit. You want to play with some Tamagotchis? Of course they want to go play with the Tamagotchi. Shit. With his 40-year-old something self.
Locations in your narrative that you drafted for this
Yes.
case. Would looking at your narrative assist in helping you remember the specific times that the vehicle was traveling in and out of St. Cloud?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm approaching the witness for the record with Detective Tagler's 11-page narrative.
Thank you.
Did I hashtag this video? Hold on. Yes, I did.
I'm looking at page 4.
Does page 4 help refresh your memory as to the times that the vehicle was picked up on the tag reader going in and out of St. Cloud?
You say your sister just subscribed. Yo, shout out Sugarfoot, man. Hell yeah. Tell the family. Tell them to come through. Tell them hit that subscribe button type shit, okay? Appreciate you, Sugarfoot.
What times was it traveling towards or into St. Cloud?
This is eastbound on US 182 and Pecan Street at 13:05 hours, and westbound on US 192 and Academy Drive at 14:23 hours.
And you were equipped with this information at the time that you responded and met with Mr. Stearns in this case?
Yes.
Were you aware as to who the last person to have seen Madeline Soto alive or have seen her was?
Yes.
Stephan.
Stephan Stearns.
Was that consistent throughout a lot of law enforcement interviews that were conducted?
Yes.
After you get this information and your task is to assist in the investigation, what's the next thing that you do?
Detective Acosta and I respond to Kissimmee to their residence, and we meet with Detective Hunt.
When you say their residence, are you referring to Miss Jennifer Soto and Madeline Soto's residence?
Yes.
That would be on the Santa Maria Drive.
Yes.
When you get to the address, who is there?
Stephan.
Detective Hunt is there. There's other patrol deputies on scene, and Jennifer.
I still think Jen killed Maddie, but he's a sicko. Man, I don't know. I think he was definitely. Man, I can't say it the way I want to say it. I think he was definitely fucking on her, the young one, but I don't think. I think he was doing all the nasty shit, and I honestly just don't know what to think about Jen. She's definitely a shitty mom, but her killing her daughter, I don't think so. I think Stephan, the big man, the huge big guy, probably accidentally killed her when something went wrong. Something went wrong. He accidentally killed her. Oh my God, no, Maddie, please come back. And it was over. I could imagine him bawling and sobbing and shit. And that's why he's so fucked up during the police officers and during the interviews. He's sad in an odd way, almost as if he's like regretful. Not sad like, oh, we got to find her, we got to get her. It's almost like he's regretful that this ever happened because we could have had this awesome relationship that nobody knew about, but I fucked around and killed her by accident. Obviously, that's just me talking out my ass. I'm not sure if that's what happened. We're going to find out. But, you know. Yeah. I think he killed her.
And Stephan.
Is there law?
I think Jen had a weird enjoyment knowing that she can like pass her, like get him excited with her daughter or something. I think Jen was just going along for the weird fuckery. I don't think she actually did anything. But who knows?
Enforcement conversing with either Jennifer Soto or Stephan Stearns?
Not at the time.
Who is the first person that you speak with?
Detective Hunt.
Does Detective Hunt relay information that he obtained during an interview with the defendant to you?
Yes.
What information do you recall receiving prior to your interaction with the defendant?
He stated that he had spoken to Stephan and Jennifer, and to his knowledge, Madeline had not made it to school, that Stephan had dropped her off near the school, and that they were supposed to go to McDonald's, but they didn't. And then he watched her walk towards the direction of the school, and then he went home.
Did you receive at that time any information about the sleeping arrangements on February 25th of 2024, the night before?
Yes. Detective Hunt told me that Madeline and Stephan had slept together in room number 4 because Jennifer needed to get more rest that morning.
Jennifer liked that shit. I don't care what you say. She was into that shit somehow. So I think Madeline was pregnant. I think they debunked that. I think they said she wasn't. And clearly, you know, autopsy has been done like a million years ago. So I'm sure they know if she was pregnant or not, but I doubt it. I just think it was a Stephan thing. It was like he got too rough with her. She told him some crazy shit he didn't like, kills her. Jen liked that shit. For whatever reason, she enjoyed it. There's no way you mean to tell me a mother is sending her daughter up with Stephan. But this is why I think she liked it, is because they started off doing that shit in the bed together. You don't think Stephan was doing weird shit in the bed while they were sleeping? And she's on her medication, fucked up, you know? But anyway, let's not even talk about that nasty ass shit. Let's talk about this big ass fucking super chat that Shella dropped in the shit. Let's go. I appreciate you, Shella, with the big 20 out here, man. I appreciate you, ma'am. You can just adopt me, but I have to get off here now. Have a good day. You want to be adopted? That's crazy. I appreciate you, Shella, man. Have a good shift. I appreciate the 20. Shit. I'm here all week. All year. Maybe even a decade. All right, let's continue. I appreciate you, ma'am.
Equipped with this information, did you come into contact with Stephan Stearns?
Yes.
How did you know who was Stephan Stearns and how to find him in the area?
Detective Hunt pointed him out.
Was your encounter with Mr. Stearns audio recorded?
Yes.
As a detective, what is your uniform, for lack of a better word, when you are at work? What do you wear?
Professional attire, like I'm dressed right now.
Type shit.
You're not in a police uniform when you make contact with Mr. Stearns?
I am not.
Hell nah, she a detective. She's big dog.
Same, not in uniform.
Big dogs don't wear
Anybody
uniform.
approach Mr. Stearns with you and Detective Cox?
No.
Where is Mr. Stearns when you approach him?
We're all standing behind his vehicle.
When you say his vehicle, who are you talking about?
The Lincoln?
So the defendant's Lincoln.
Yes.
And at this point in time, is the defendant handcuffed?
He's not.
Is the defendant free to leave?
Yes.
How is his demeanor, meaning the defendant's demeanor when you're interacting with him?
He was very emotionless, but otherwise able to answer every question that we had for him.
Did the defendant, seem groggy, confused, unable to communicate with you?
He did not.
I will say he did seem groggy. I'll give that to him. It's not going to help him, so I'll say that. He did seem groggy, but I think he seemed intentionally groggy, like, oh, fuck, yeah. Oh, I just woke up. Oh, my head. Oh, I'm still, you know what I mean? He was on that type of time. He wasn't actually groggy.
Did the defendant respond appropriately to questions that you were asking?
He did.
Would you classify his behavior towards you as cooperative?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you explain to the court, I know that you indicated that you're all standing in the back of
Fucking
Mr.
spammers.
Stearns' vehicle, but can you explain to the court where everybody is positioned?
Yes. I was standing on the left side of the trunk. Stephan Stearns was standing directly next to me. We were basically shoulder to shoulder. And Detective Acosta was standing closer to the wheel well on the right side and the corner of the car.
Was Mr. Stearns' path of travel impeded by either of you?
It was not.
Was Mr. Stearns free to leave?
Yes.
Did Mr. Stearns ever communicate with you either verbally or by body language or physically a desire to end the communication with you?
He did not.
And honestly, he couldn't, because he would have been a suspect even sooner. Like, hey, you know what, guys, stop asking me all these questions. I'm really tired. I said I saw her. I'm done. That would have alerted them a lot faster. So he had to kind of just sit around and act like he wanted to talk about this shit. He didn't want to talk about this shit. That was the last thing he wanted to talk about. And that's why he fucked himself, because all he does is worry about what other people think about him, right? So, obviously, not understanding how court works, he just didn't want them to think bad about him. So he kept talking and kept talking and kept giving them information and kept lying. I'm so glad he did that. If he was a little bit smarter, this would have been a bit more of a foggy case. Probably still would have went to jail. It just would have been more foggy. Not the way he was moving. This shit's crystal fucking clear. Transparent.
At some
Not
point
translucent.
during your interaction,
Wait, translucent or opaque? No, is it I always get those mixed up. Hold on, let me just play it.
do you request for Mr. Stearns to take out his cell phone
Yes.
or to look at his cell phone?
Exactly. It's not translucent. It's transparent. Yeah, that was the right way. That was the right word. Okay.
Yes.
Can you remember where the cell phone was, where the defendant's cell phone was when you asked this question?
I do not. It was in his possession, but I don't recall where he grabbed the phone from.
Did the defendant consent to allowing you to look at his phone?
Yes.
And do you remember if Mr. Stearns' cell phone was password or passcoded protected?
It was.
Who entered the passcode into the phone?
Stephan.
After Mr. Stearns entered the passcode in the phone and unlocked the phone, what did Mr. Stearns do with the phone?
He handed me the phone.
While you are holding the phone, where are you standing?
In the same position next to Stephan.
Do you hold the phone in a way to allow others to see what is on the phone?
Yes.
Where is Mr. Stearns at as you are looking at the phone?
Directly standing next to me.
And initially, the interaction and how the cell phone comes out, you bring up looking at maps in the phone.
Correct.
Are you familiar with the type of phone that the defendant had?
I am not.
Samsung. And that was another thing I think he had he thought he had a advantage of is because he had the Samsung and he thought, iPhones, they go through a rigorous process in terms of transferring data, deleting data, and saving data. But Samsung is there's a little bit more freedom. So, you could have hidden folders. You can have you could delete certain things without deleting other things. You could do a lot more on a Samsung. So I feel like he thought he had the edge on him. He was like, ooh, I'm very savvy with the technology. Got his ass caught right the fuck up. That's why he gave it to him, because honestly, if I'm guilty, you can't have my phone because I don't want to give it to you. I don't know. But he gave that shit to him willingly. So this whole suppression shit, not going to happen. Not going to happen. And I think, hold on. And I think this is what he was talking about last year when he said, we have some information by a long shot. It's by a long shot, Mom, but I can't really talk about it. But it's by a long shot. I might be able to get freed, or at least for now. At least maybe we'll be able to figure this out, Mommy. This is probably what they were talking about. Boy, get the fuck out of here. You're going to jail. And I hope they ravage your ass.
Inquire as to taking a picture of, quote unquote, your history, the defendant's history. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And that's also encompassed in the audio recorded interview.
Correct.
Does the defendant ever communicate to you any limitations on what it is that you're doing?
He does not.
Does the defendant ever attempt, either verbally, physically, or in any type of way, to cease the search of the phone?
He does not.
Man, shout out SJ. You got this.
After
I just saw the comment.
Look at the maps, the history.
Hell yeah, SJ, you got that shit.
What did you see? Or what did you notice in what you saw on the phone?
I noticed that he had mentioned that he uses Google Maps for basically everything to check locations, the time, places open and close. And I noticed that on his Google history, it was very minimal. There was not a lot of traveling that was consistent to what he had originally said to both Detective Acosta and I. So then after that, I went to his call history, and I noticed that there was also not a lot of information on his call history.
That's red flags. I know her red flags went crazy. She said this man deleted that shit. And you think you factory reset your phone and it's gone. It's shit. They be finding shit. So don't think if you have some weird stuff on your phones right now, be careful. Because these motherfuckers can scan, search, repull, clear caches. They could do all types of shit and find stuff on the phone. And that's exactly what happened to him.
And this was after you mentioned looking at his history.
What's up, Ramona? Welcome in.
During this entire time, did the defendant ever cease or withdraw his consent, either verbally or physically?
He does not.
After this initial interaction with the cell phone, do you keep the cell phone?
No.
What do you do with it?
I hand it back to Stephan.
Is it at this point that you walk away for a brief period of time?
Yes.
And do you come back?
I do.
Where Mr. Stearns and Detective Acosta are?
Yes.
Did anything about the circumstances surrounding this interaction with Mr. Stearns, either the location, the number of people, where people are standing, did any of that change?
No.
Was Mr. Stearns
Why does she look so fucking concerned? I think that just must be her resting face. Damn, if I was dating her, I'd be like, what's wrong, babe? Looks like she's always stressing about some shit. That shit's crazy. Maybe it's just the job. It's the hazards of the job. She just has permanent despair on her face. Maybe it's that. I don't know. Probably is, to be honest. But anyways, Green Eye Bandit in the fucking building. Shout out Green Eye Bandit, year plus member. Okay, with a big 5 super chat in this bitch. I appreciate you, Green Eye Bandit. Shit, shout her out. Oh, 19 months to be exact. Okay, all right. Shit, thank you so much, Green Eye Bandit, for the 5, and happy anniversary on your 19 months. Shit's crazy, bruh.
Standing in a similar place as when you.
That's 1 year, 7 months. Shit, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Shit. You're almost a 2-year member. That shit crazy. Appreciate you, Green Eye Bandit.
Before you left.
Yes.
2-year member is insane.
Still
That's crazy.
legally and out of handcuffs.
Yes.
2-year member. Shit.
At approximately 7:57, do you again ask Mr. Stearns to unlock the phone?
Yes.
How does that happen? Explain that process.
He again enters the code and hands me the phone.
Stearns had the effect on people, AG, Dumbo, motherfucker. Stearns had the effect on people.
At
What
some
effect?
point, do you bring up the lack of call history to the defendant?
I do.
What was the defendant's explanation?
He said he had accidentally factory reset his phone.
After your initial.
Let me go into my settings real quick. I'm gonna tell you how many swipes it takes to factory reset my phone. I'm gonna do it right here, right now. Okay. Move 1, settings. This is accidental, right? This is accidental. Move 1, enter into settings. Move 2, enter into general. I don't even know how to do it, software storage. Right? Move 3. Go into, I think it's the about section. I can't even do it. All I'm trying to say is a lot of fucking moves, and I can't even do it. Okay? I probably have to sit down for 5 minutes until I factory reset my phone, because I have to figure it the fuck out. It's a lot of moves. Now, I could see if it was like a long hold, and that just factory resets my whole shit. Oh, I accidentally did it because I was trying to double click and I long held and it just deleted everything. Horrible. There's no way that you can accidentally do 5 moves in a row to then delete the phone. That's like 5 moves back to back consciously that you have to do. And keep in mind that you have to enter your password the first time. Okay, boo, 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 boo. Password entered. Are you sure you want to bloody blah the phone? You have to enter your password the second time. I don't care if you have a Samsung or a fucking iPhone. It's always a 2-time question or process, which means we're up to a total of 7 moves and a lot of brain power used to remember a password. That's bullshit. The term accidental needs to get tattooed over his fucking forehead just to make him get punished for that stupid ass story. I promise you. You can't accidentally reset a fucking phone. I'm sorry.
Interaction with him.
Yo, what's up, Jim? Jim said she had to Google it. See, when's the last time you reset your phone? Not recently. You guys tell me in a fucking step-by-step way to reset your phone. You probably can't fucking do it because you have to feel around, bump your head around until you finally get there. And let's just say he's a very tech-savvy man. So he's not like us morons. It still takes up to 7 moves and brain power to remember to remember the password to delete everything. So, you know, that explanation's bullshit.
You knew all of that information that you had previously explained opportunity to see things on the phone and the information that you had that the phone was factory reset. What did you do?
At that point, I told him I was going to hold on to his phone.
Yeah.
And that was
He should have broke that bitch is what he should have did. Bam! Smacked that bitch on the floor and set it on fire. That's what you should have did. You still would have went to prison because of your Google Drives. That's in the cloud. But damn it, Stephan, you should have just smashed that bitch on the floor. What happened, Stephan? You could at least say, oh, I accidentally dropped my phone from a 30-story building. At least that's a little more believable. I was at the edge of a 30-story building and I just accidentally dropped that bitch. But, you know.
It was approximately at 8 p.m., 7:59, 8 p.m. on February 27th of 2024.
Correct.
After this interaction with him, did you secure anything else
No.
other than the cell phone? Did you secure anything else or
Well, I did ask him to refrain from going back in his vehicle.
his vehicle, meaning the Lincoln?
Yes.
Meaning his father's
Was
vehicle.
Mr.
Was it his dad's vehicle? I forgot. They loaned him a vehicle or some shit. I'm not sure if it's his dad's vehicle. All I know is Stephan never does anything on his own 2 feet. He always has to beg and bitch about things. So I'm pretty sure some way, somehow that's for his parents. But I can't remember.
Able to enter and exit Jennifer Soto's vehicle during the time between your 2 interviews with him?
Yes.
Was he free to walk about?
Yes.
Did you or Detective Acosta remain where Mr. Stearns and Ms. Soto were?
No.
What were you doing in between your 2 interviews?
After speaking with Stephan Stearns the first time, Detective Acosta and I went to the front of the apartment complex to speak with management and ask them to review their surveillance.
I don't know where that lice claim is coming from. I was just joking in the other video when I said he had lice. But, I mean, it could be lice, but don't quote me on that. I know he doesn't bathe. I know his hair probably was stinking. It probably got all greasy and shit. You know, fuck it. You're that depressed, just cut the hair off too. He should have did the bald. He should have did the bald look. He should have got himself a razor and went against the grain. That shit would have went crazy. You said scabies? What the fuck? He should have shaved that bitch bald because you notice most chomos like that bald look. You notice that? It's like they get caught and all of a sudden they shave their heads bald. That's a chomo vibe right there. And it's always the guy who had a good head of hair and then he shaves it all off when he goes to jail. I don't know what it is about the chomos, but I've seen it a few times.
Doing these additional tasks,
You said he got deloused?
Yes.
This is approximately 12:15 in the morning on February 28th, right?
Yes.
Was Mr. Stearns handcuffed?
He was not.
Had
Yo, what's
his
up,
movements
Pass
been
Nola?
restricted in any way by you during your conversation?
No.
Were you wearing the same clothes that you had worn a couple hours earlier?
I was.
Who was with you when you spoke with Mr. Stearns?
Detective Acosta.
At any point in time during either of your interactions with Mr. Stearns, did you or Detective Acosta remove a firearm from your persons? Did you guys take your guns out?
No.
Did you threaten arrest or anything like that during your interactions with Mr. Stearns?
No.
Whoa, what happened? I didn't see her
The
mouth move.
second interview that you conducted.
Alex Murdoch
was that
shaved too,
also
but he's not a
audio
chomo.
recorded?
Yes.
Was
That
Mr.
we know.
Stearns free to leave at the end of the interview?
Yes.
In fact, he did leave your presence as well as Nation Bay, correct?
Correct.
Was Mr. Stearns' demeanor the same or different?
It was the same.
Pussy Stearns.
Did you have any issue communicating with Mr. Stearns?
I did not.
Was Mr.
They call him Fat Pum Pum Stearns. That's what they should call him. He's a fucking bitch, but just saying.
Stearns cooperative with you?
Yes.
And during this second interview, Did you explain,
Oh yeah, Brooks shaved all his hair off, and he's a chomo. It's that chomo vibe. I don't know what it is. He grew his hair back though.
law enforcement was seeking to do with Mr. Stern's phone?
I did.
What did you tell him?
I asked him we wanted to, or I told him that we wanted to download the phone to see if we can get more information from his maps, and then he said that that was fine.
Okay. Are you sure that you specifically said that you wanted to download information, specifically the maps?
Not just the maps, just any information on his phone. I told him that we wanted to get more information from his cell phone.
Do you remember using the words, we want to download your phone, we want to go through your phone?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Again, maybe you could argue this if it was like a 90-year-old man who didn't know what download your phone means. Maybe he just thought you were downloading your map data. But everybody else knows that that means they're getting every piece of content from your phone and copying it over as basically a ghost phone so they can go through everything that you've done. That's it. Downloading your phone means taking everything off that phone. He knew that. The court specifically, the court knows that, and defense knows that. Motion denied.
During this encounter with him, you request specific consent from him to be able to go through the phone, right?
Yes.
Do you explain to him in your question what is going to happen or what your alternative route to obtaining that cell phone download is?
Yes.
What did you say?
Cool little warrant.
When I explained to him what we wanted to do with the cell phone, I asked him if I had his consent to download the phone or if I had to obtain a search warrant.
And did the defendant consent to downloading the phone?
Yes.
Did the defendant provide you verbally with the passcode to his phone?
He did.
Have a good one, Gerda.
At the time that this interaction happened, did you...
Local Artwood said, imagine saying yes to land them download your phone when you know you've done that thing. Even a factory reset can. Yeah, no. And that's the problem. Like, maybe if you had a Razor from 2010, you can delete that and get away with everything. But now we have too many clouds. We have the iCloud, and then we have the Google Cloud, and then we have fucking cloud. We have clouds everywhere. That data gets sifted through the cloud more often than we even realize. It gets checked up and like passed so that when there's a, you know, a failure on your actual phone, you can recover the same data. But see, that's what bites us in the ass. Now that we have these computers in our hands, these are not fucking phones anymore. These are powerful fucking computers right here. Everything goes through a cloud first, unless you're very meticulous. Like the thing is, guys, you can get away with things like that, but you have to be on your P's and Q's constantly, basically disconnecting yourself from every online service that's available. So I'm talking iCloud, Google Cloud, all your cache from your internet has to be automatically deleted. It is a lot to keep up with. One mistake means you get caught, especially when they're downloading your phone. So it is possible, but only on paper, because, you know, in real life, shit, you're gonna mess up somewhere. And Stephan messed up a lot, 700 and something times. So, yeah, he messed up a lot of times.
You or Detective Acosta impede or restrict Mr. Stern's movement?
He did not.
At any point in time, did Mr. Stern seek to limit the scope of the cell phone download?
He did not.
Did you provide Mr. Stearns with your phone number or a way to get a hold of you after your interaction?
I did.
And did you give him any information as to when you would be accessible through that cell phone?
I did.
What did you tell him?
That my phone was on 24/7.
At any point in time, did Mr. Stearns reach out to you to either withdraw consent or limit the consent?
He did not.
Are you sure that he had a way to communicate with you?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because Jennifer had her cell phone with her.
Are you sure that, do you know if Mr. Stearns and Ms. Soto left Venetian Bay together?
They did.
You said, do we know if there's any family members in the courtroom? I highly doubt it. The only people who he has who would really still give a fuck about him is his mom and his dad. And honestly, like, I hope they didn't come. Stay inside. Go watch Dr. Phil or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy your fucking, what is today? Enjoy your Wednesday. There's no need for you to come out here just for you to hear motion denied. You can watch that shit on YouTube. Come on over to agtactical.com. I mean, shit. Come on over to agtactical on YouTube and watch the trial from there, you know? Because it's a waste of time. I hope no family members are in here, because why are you even there?
Do you know which vehicle they were in?
In Jennifer's vehicle.
That was it? No, they're going to keep going. Oh, wait, I think they're switching. Excuse me.
I'm approaching the witness for the record with State's B for identification. Did you have an opportunity to listen to the recordings on State's B for identification?
I did.
Did they fairly and accurately depict the recordings of the 2 interviews that we discussed here in court with yourself, Detective Acosta, and the defendant in this case?
Yeah, tell Deb to come on over to AG Tactical. Just avoid all the videos where there's phone calls, Deb. Deb, sweetie, just don't watch the phone call videos because you're going to cry. But you can watch the trial on my channel. It's all good. That Miss Debs can watch.
Your Honor, at this time, the State received interviews and evidence what's been marked B for identification and the evidence is State.
Be a composite exhibit with both recorders.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
No objection.
These and Bravo will be received as State 2.
Can I have just a moment?
All right, so Stephan's over here looking like, well, you see how he's falling deeper into his seat? He wishes he wasn't even in there, man. At this point, I feel like bro even wants to go back to his cell.
No other questions.
Type shit. All right, let's go. Defense. Defense. Let's go.
So your interactions with Stephan Stearns, they were
He seems like a fucking tool already. The swoop over, the glasses. He's probably a nice guy, probably a good family man. But I'm just saying he seems like a fucking tool already. The thin glasses. Shout him out, though. You know, no hatred. Just, just saying.
recorded, right?
Correct.
Okay, they weren't video recorded?
No.
Okay. And let's paint that picture. When you arrived on scene, you said that it was you and another detective present, right?
Correct.
Actually, I think it would have been 3 detectives, right?
Type shit.
You, Acosta, and Hunt?
Hunt was already on scene. Detective Acosta and I arrived later.
Okay, so 3 detectives.
You said he looks like my husband. Is your husband a tool? No, I'm playing.
Correct.
And alongside those detectives, you said that they were patrol deputies, right?
Yes.
From the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
I don't recall if it was us or Kissimmee.
Okay. Were they wearing uniform?
Yes.
Did they have their badges?
Yes.
Did they have their guns?
Yes.
Did you have your gun?
I did.
And did you have your badge?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
And when you arrive on scene, you said that you first went to talk to Detective Hunt, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then afterwards, at one point you start talking to Stephan Stearns, right?
Yes.
Okay. And this is outside of his house?
Correct.
Because it's not allowed to go inside his house at this point, right?
Not at this point. The house was not secured.
Right. And when you're talking about secured, that's for securing for searching the house, right?
Correct.
Okay. So the deputies are making sure that
Type shit.
he's not going back inside his house, right?
Nobody's doing that.
Okay. So at what point, let me ask it this way, how did he get outside of the house?
I don't know. I wasn't there when he was outside.
To your understanding, how did he get outside?
He
I'm not
walked
sure.
out.
Law enforcement have told him to?
I wasn't there.
Okay. And when you're talking with him, at no point did you say, you can go back inside, right?
I did not.
At no point did you say, you're free to leave, you can drive away, right?
I did not.
Actually, and you kept him from going inside his own vehicle, right?
I did.
Because that was being secured for searching too, right?
At that time, I just asked him to refrain from going back in his vehicle.
Okay, so you didn't even tell him it was for search?
Not at that time. I wasn't sure what we had at the moment.
Okay. And then when you're talking with Mr. Stearns, you kind of give us general overview that you said that he consented to searching his phone, right?
Yes.
Okay. Your specific question to him at first, going through the timeline, is do you mind if I look at your maps real quick, right?
Correct.
At no point did you say, do you mind if I dig through your entire phone?
Bro, you dumb It's like progression. We're going over the same thing again. You asked him to see his maps specifically. Don't try to muddy the water. Then she moved on and went to his call log and didn't realize the calls. And then she asked to download the phone, and then he said yes. Okay, so what are we talking about? It was just the progression of what happened. And you know when he said, how did he exit the house? He's trying to put into our minds, or into the judge's mind, that he was kind of forcefully brought out of the house, and that probably made him feel like he had to comply and give the phone. That's what I think that first question was about, but I'm not sure.
Phone at this point, right?
I did not.
Okay. And then when you get to the next question, it's do you mind if I take a picture of your history, right?
You don't get what the point. Well, I'm not sure if you didn't hear it, Jim. It's basically just to try and suppress the photos. That's it. But you probably knew that. And they're trying to do it by saying that the police obtained his phone like against Stephan's will, which doesn't make any sense when we all heard that. Like the whole world heard that. Or everybody who was listening to the calls heard it. So, I mean the interrogations heard it, so.
Okay, not take a picture of his lock screen?
No.
Not take a picture of his home screen?
No.
Not take a picture of his call history?
It was his history.
Not take a picture of his emails?
I did not.
Not take a picture of the entirety of his phone, just his history, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then when you get to the next thing, you say, is it okay?
Thank you, Cher.
Is it okay if I go in your settings real quick? I just want to see if you're logged onto your Google, right?
Yes.
And at that point, Mr. Stearns tells you that he is not logged into his Google, right?
Correct.
Okay. But then you keep pressing and then you say, is it okay if I check?
I asked, I didn't press.
I asked
You
to
if it's okay
impress.
to check?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, it was just to check whether he was logged into his Google.
And I think I like how she specified that, because pressing is asking over and over. She probably asked him one time. Pressing is when you do it over and over and the person says no, 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 no. Finally, yes. So we could have something to work with in terms of his defense if they pressured or pressed, as the way he said it, if they actually pressed him to give him the phone, them the phone. But no, she said, I didn't pressure, I asked, which in my head means she asked one time and he said yes. You know? Between you and CLR, you got the sound. You got me sounding dope. Thank you so much, Kathy. Much love and respect. Shout Kathy out. And Viviana with the big $10 super chat, man. You guys are raining it out here. Welcome in, Viviana. It's been a minute. Thank you, AG, for streaming this for us. My pleasure, ma'am. Shit. And shout you out for coming out and being one of the viewers. Thank you again for the 10. Don't even worry, man. I think we're going to be able to stream this entire trial. Both of them. And if we don't stream both of them, we're going to do videos on both of them and catch ourselves up. Because this thing, listen, it's just going to bring me some satisfaction when he gets put in jail forever. And I want them to read that death penalty is inactive. No death. Hashtag no death penalty for Stephan Stearns. Hashtag free Stephan from the death penalty, because we want that motherfucker to live. That's what we want, folks. That's what we want. We want him to wake up day after day after day in fucking squalor. You know what I mean? But let's continue. Thank you again, Viviana.
Correct.
Okay. But then you keep pressing and then you say, is it okay if I check?
I asked, I didn't press.
You asked if it's okay you checked?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, it was just to check whether he was logged into his Google, right?
Correct.
Not going through the entirety of his phone.
Correct.
You never asked him, can I go through the entirety of your phone?
He was standing next to me while I was on his phone.
Okay, so it's your basis that he has to say no, you can just keep digging until he says stop?
Correct.
Exactly, bitch. What are you talking about? He's saying that like that's such a horrible thing. That's how it works.
That he has to say no, you can just keep digging until he says stop?
Correct.
Really?
He was
Yeah,
standing
you
next to me and he
fuckface.
saw what I was doing on his cell phone.
And did you ever ask him to go through the rest of your cell phone?
I did not.
Did you ever ask him to go into his call history?
I did not.
Did you ever ask him?
See, this is the problem, folks. and this is why they're going to get denied. Working along someone's feelings and being respectful is completely irrelevant. Is it legal to just keep going through that motherfucker's phone? I'll answer it for you. Yes. Because he is allowing you to. I can't read his fucking mind. Oh, you know, I really wish she didn't do that, but I was just very pressured, and I didn't know what to say, so I just kept saying yes. Well, that's your fucking problem. Get with it, brother. You're 40 years old. I can see if you're a goddamn juvenile, we can have some discussion about it. You're 40 years old. You're 40 years old. You should have said no.
To go through his Google Drive on the phone, if it even was it.
I never looked at his Google Drive.
Okay. But you were looking at the rest of his phone, right?
Yes.
I looked at his call history and his Google Maps.
Okay. Because you were trying to figure out that timeline, right?
Correct.
It's the only thing you were looking for at this point, right?
Correct.
Okay. Did you ever go into the photos on his phone?
Yes.
No photos.
He was there?
Yeah, he was sitting next to me.
Okay. Did you ever ask him if you could go through his photos?
No.
No.
Right. And when you're going through those photos,
Yo, this trial is going to be so goofy, guys. This shit's going to be goofy as fuck, dog. The way he's asking these questions, this shit's about to be goofy as shit. I could already feel the dumbassery, because what he's going to try to do is get the jury to feel a certain way about things. He's gonna be the guy to make it. He's going to try to invoke that emotion on the jury. What's up, Negla? How you doing?
how many of his photos did you look at?
I think it was maybe 2 or 3 of
You
the.
said yes, if he was a minor, this would be different. He's a grown fucking man. Exactly. It's like, oh, they coerced the minor, and the minor was scared and said, yeah, okay, cool. All right, suppress whatever the fuck you want to deal with. Let the judge deal with it. This old, crusty-ass fucking man, You make choices and you live with them. That's what he did, and that's what he's got to do.
The day Madeline went missing.
Just to be clear, you're not just looking at like the big grid. You start going into actual pictures.
I don't recall if I actually clicked on any of the pictures,
Okay, so how do you know that you were just looking at 2 or 3 of those?
because it has dates on, like if you look at the grid, it shows dates for pictures.
And at any point, I'm just rephrase. At no point did you ask him to look at his photos.
I did not.
I like that she
Then
didn't.
you go back to his Maps app at some point, right?
Correct.
And at that point, you're talking to him about the Snug Street address, right?
Yes,
Okay, and you never asked him if he could go back to the Maps app at that point, right?
I did not.
Okay. And just to be clear, nothing is visually recorded at this point.
Correct.
So when you say that you handed him his phone back, you never actually said, hey, here's your phone back, or anything like that.
I did. I said, here you go.
Here you go. Now, when you get the phone back from him, what do you say?
I said, can you please unlock your phone again?
Okay. And at that point, it was still you and Detective Acosta standing with him, right?
No
Correct.
shit.
You both were kind of tag teaming him, questioning him, right?
We're both talking to him.
You're both kind of like you're both kind of like tag teaming them, right? You're both kind of like abusing your rights as a police officer, right? That's what was happening. Yeah.
Okay. Specifically, at what point did you say, here you go, when you handed him his phone?
Right before I stepped away.
Okay. You sure here you go are your exact words?
I don't know if it was my exact words, but I did hand him the phone and I said, here you go. It's in the audio recording.
And then this motherfucker said, interesting. You shut the fuck up, bro. Interesting. Man, shit. He must be getting paid hourly, because fuck it. If I was getting paid hourly, I wouldn't care either. I would go hard as shit. Because fuck it, right? You were going to lose it anyway. Let's just, let's do our best.
And then at this point, you said you got him to unlock his phone again, right?
Yes.
And that's when you started digging through his call history, right?
I'm not sure what I looked at when I had the phone back.
Well, you specifically said, I also noticed I was checking your call history. I noticed you don't have anything before this morning, right?
Yes.
Okay. And at no point did you ask if you can go into his call history?
I did not.
You took the phone from him, what time was that?
About 8, a little after 8?
8 at night?
Yes.
Okay. Just make sure we're painting that picture clear too. 8 o'clock at night you're speaking with him, right?
Correct.
Damn, you know what? I think somebody months ago, I was like, Stephan can't even keep a story in his mind. He's such a fucking dumbass, this and that. And somebody had said he was probably worn out from them interrogating him all day. So think about it. The first detective came in at 11 something. It's now 8 p.m., bro. That's a full shift. That's more than a full shift. That's a little bit of overtime. No, because you have to take lunch. Never mind. That's a full shift of just being asked questions. Another detective comes, repeat that part for me. Ask more questions. Another detective comes, repeat that part for me, and only this part, and then I want to ask you some more questions. I know his head was dizzy from trying to keep up with the questions, bro. I'm talking hallucinating damn near probably.
About 50 to 60 degrees outside?
Correct.
Okay. And law enforcement's been standing around with Mr. Stearns outside?
He went to Jennifer's car after me and him spoke.
Okay, but before you and him spoke?
I can't answer that question. I wasn't there.
Okay, when you first showed up, where was he?
Outside.
Outside where?
I don't recall the exact location, but he was outside with Jennifer.
Right, so you know exactly where you walked, but not where he was?
Yeah.
I walked towards Detective Hunt.
Now, at this point, you collect Mr. Stearns' phone away from him for the final time that he has his hands on it, right?
Correct.
And when you take that phone away from him, you don't ask him for his phone. You take it from him, right?
I already had the phone.
Oh, right. And then you told him specifically that at this point, we're keeping your phone.
Correct.
Okay. Didn't give him a choice.
I said, I'm going to keep your phone. We want to download your phone.
He could have said no, right?
What was the exact phrasing that you just said there?
That we wanted to download the cell phone.
You said that during the first interview.
The second interview, not the first one.
Talking about when you took the phone away.
They took the phone and said, we're going to download your phone. He could have said, no, fuck you, give me my shit, bitch. And they could have gave it, and they would have gave it back to him. But again, he was trying to seem innocent. Bro, if you know that phone is going to get you fucked, throw away the seeming innocent part and just try to save whatever's left, you know? Try to save whatever's left. That shows how dumb this guy is. The video games really came into real life for this guy. He thought it's just like the video game, the cops are stupid. No. No, they're not. They're not, man. This is not GTA 5. You know? The cops know what the fuck they know what's going on.
First time, during the first interview. When did you tell him that you were going to download the phone?
The second time.
During the first interview, when did you tell him that you were going to download
The second time I spoke to him, not the first time.
You never said it the first time.
I did not.
Right. And then when you're talking with him that second time, you actually state to him, your exact words are,
Objection improper.
response? I'll reverse it. When you speak with him, did you tell him that we had previously said that we were going to download the phone?
Yes.
Your interactions with him were recorded.
Correct.
And when you originally took the phone from Stephan Stearns, Mr. Stearns was concerned about staying in touch with his father, right?
Correct.
Okay. And that's the point where you told him, well, you can just talk to him through Jen's phone, right?
Yes.
And at no point was he asked to consent to seizing his phone, right?
Correct.
At no point did you ever give him any form or anything to consent to seizing his phone?
I did not. Everything's audio recorded.
Okay. And at no point did you ever get a form from him consenting to downloading his phone?
I know Stephan seeing this lady. I know that his whole life choices are flashing in front of his head right now. He's like, that's that one girl who fucked my whole shit up. I bet you he's kind of scared right now. He's like extra just shook by her presence because that voice that calm, small, wonderful voice is probably his nightmare. Because that's the one who started digging in your shit.
Did not.
Because everything's audio recorded.
Correct.
Got it. And you collect the phone at 8 at night. It's about 1:30 in the morning you talk to somebody again.
It's not. It's about midnight.
About midnight, okay. 4 hours then?
Just about.
Okay. You have the phone in your possession?
It was in my vehicle.
Okay. Ever apply for a search warrant at that point?
This is
I did not.
defense, Jess.
I didn't need. I didn't have like enough
What's up,
information yet
Christine?
as to what we were doing with the case.
Elaborate on that for me. What do you mean you didn't have enough information?
We knew that something didn't sound right, as like was speaking with him with like the timeline and things like that. But we weren't sure exactly what we were doing yet. I was waiting for my supervisor to contact me.
Okay. And when your supervisor contacted you, did he or she, excuse me, did he tell you to get a warrant?
He did not.
Okay. Did he tell you to try and get that cell phone download?
He did.
Okay. And how did he tell you to get that cell phone download?
He didn't. He just said we wanted to get the phone downloaded, and that's when I asked Stephan if I had his permission to download the phone or if I needed to get a search warrant.
Right. You gave him the ultimatum at that point, right?
I asked him 2 questions.
It was an ultimatum. I'll give him that. It was an ultimatum. Like, motherfucker, we finna forcefully do that shit if you don't say yes. That's what it was. You know, it was an ultimatum, but who really gives a fuck? Is that illegal? She's just stating what's going to happen. Honestly, that's not even an ultimatum. That's more of a promise. I guess an ultimatum is a promise. So we can just rephrase that. She was just promising him that if he said no, he would get a warrant served. That's it.
So we can either get the phone or you can get a warrant, right?
Correct.
Now, at any point during these interactions, did you ever tell Mr. Stearns that he could have his phone back?
I told him his phone was going to be downloaded overnight and that he should probably get it in the morning.
Okay. And prior to the second interview, did you ever tell him he could have his phone back when you just took it?
I did not.
At any point, did you ever apply for a search warrant to download Mr. Stearns' phone?
I did not.
Did any other detective do that?
No.
Okay, because you're relying on that consent, right?
He gave us consent to search his phone.
It's a yes or no. Were you relying on the consent or did you get a warrant?
He gave me consent.
Now, when you're speaking with him,
He said it's a yes or no question, try and be Mr. Tough Guy. And she just gave him the same fucking answer.
No,
download Mr. Stearns' phone.
I did not.
Did any other detective do that?
No.
Okay, because you're relying on that consent, right?
He gave us consent to search his phone.
It's a yes or no. Were you relying on the consent or did you get a warrant?
He gave me consent.
She just repeated it. He said, no, ma'am, it's a yes or no. Answer me yes or no, okay? Did he give you consent? He gave me consent. She gave him the exact same answer. This guy kind of sounds like a fucking bozo. I wonder if he's going to be the leader of their defense. I thought it was Miss Ma'am over here with the dreadlocks. She seemed a bit more competent. I don't know why she's not talking. Your boy up there, Stephan, Steffi boy, you're fucked if you have him talking. Just saying.
Now, when you're speaking with him,
Now, let me take that back. He's fucked either way. Even if he wins this trial, he's still fucked, which is crazy.
you became aware that Mr. Stearns had taken medication, right?
He said he had the night before.
Okay, and that was Ativan?
Yes.
And he told you why he took that medication, right?
Because he said he couldn't sleep and that he was very stressed and couldn't stop crying.
Right. And he was also having panic.
You know, I've never told anybody in my life that I couldn't stop crying. I just don't feel like that's something you should be sharing with people. I don't know. Like, oh, you know, I was so sad. I couldn't stop crying. Like, oh, Lord. You know, most of the times I would say, where is this kid's father? But we know where his father is in his life to this day. Talk about a failure. And I'm not talking about Stephan. I'm talking about his fucking dad.
The night before.
Okay, that was Ativan?
Yes.
He told you why he took that medication, right?
Because he said he couldn't sleep and that he was very stressed and couldn't stop crying.
And couldn't stop crying. Imagine telling that to a female. That's not your mom. I didn't even tell that to my mom. At 27 years old, yeah, mom, I'm sad about it. You know, last night I just couldn't stop crying. Okay, that's fair. I mean, you could tell your mom anything, right? But like, God damn it. Telling that to any other female on this planet is crazy work, in my opinion.
He's also having panic attacks, right?
Yes.
Okay. You knew that.
Yes, the night before.
Why your question? During the first interview
Correct.
and the second.
Correct.
That shit crazy.
You aware what Ativan does?
I don't take Advance, so no.
I don't take Ativan, so no. Only fucking losers, well, people who actually need it, but losers like Stephan take it. You know, what's Ativan? It's like that sleeping shit, right? Actually, a lot of people take that shit. Stephan didn't even need that. Ativan, is that what you call it? Ativan drug? Lorazepam. Jesus. Yeah, sedative. To treat seizure disorders such as epilepsy, it can also be used before surgery as a medical blah, 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 to control anxiety. Oh, you could use it to control anxiety? That would probably be why. So basically, it turns you into a zombie. Basically. Oh, you said Xanax? Okay, it turns you into a little zombie boy. That's cool. That's fire.
Now, when you're speaking with him, you became aware.
Oh, Ativan. I spell it wrong. So that's lorazepam. Hold on. Did I say it wrong? Ativan. Oh, lorazepam. So I guess it's the same thing. You said it's the same as Xanax, Enzos. Well, I know what Xanax are, so that's good enough for me. Zombie boy shit.
Aware that Mr. Stearns had taken medication, right?
He said he had the night before.
Remember Zanny the nanny? I do remember Zanny the nanny. Well, who was that? Was that Paul Ferguson? Who? Zanny the nanny. I definitely remember that name. Nah.
Okay, that was Ativan?
Yes.
He told you why he took that medication, right?
Because he said he couldn't sleep and that he was very stressed and couldn't stop crying.
Right. Now he was also having panic attacks, right?
Yes.
Okay. You knew that.
Yes, the night before.
Why your question? During the first interview
Correct.
and the second.
Correct.
Okay. You aware what Ativan does?
I don't take Advance, so no.
Okay. You ever deal with anybody that taken Ativan?
No.
Real shit. What you want to know what pills my mom takes? Like, shut the fuck up and get to court. But again, when you have nothing to talk about or nothing to defend yourself with, you start using fuckery. That's what your boy's using. Straight, that good old fashioned fuckery, you know?
As to Mr. Stearns, he was wearing flip-flops at the time, right?
Correct.
Khaki shorts,
Yes.
thin hoodie.
Yes.
Told you he hadn't eaten all day, right?
Yes.
Who gives a fucking
And
half-chub cock about what he ate?
prevented from going inside of, sounds like his vehicle, right?
His vehicle, correct.
Okay. And again,
No, okay, we get it. His blood sugar was too low, and that's why he said they had consent. So because they didn't allow him to eat and up his blood sugar, he started to hallucinate a little bit, and he was also on lorazepams. Stay with me now. So the lorazepam / no food caused him to give consent, and therefore we need to throw this whole thing out. It's over. Let's go. A.G. Cochran in the building. Come on now. Fuck out of my face. Case over.
can go inside his own house, or not his house, but the apartment.
Not at the time.
A.G. Cochran in this bitch.
And at what time? Rephrase.
He's not
at
diabetic.
2:40 in the morning on February 28th, you submitted his phone to the Orange County.
Hey, one would say he is diabetic. That boy needed the root beer barrels and all that shit. He might be diabetic. Have to up his blood sugar. Make sure he drinks his fucking grape juice. You know?
County Sheriff's Digital Forensics Unit, right?
I did not.
You did not?
No.
Who did?
Detective Acosta.
Okay, so Detective Acosta was now in charge of the phone?
Yes.
Okay. You guys ride in the car together?
We did not.
You said the phone was stored in your car at some point, right?
When we were talking, or when we were looking at the video, yes, it was in my vehicle.
Okay. When did you turn over the phone to Detective Acosta?
At the end of the night, after we secured the residence, which was around 1 in the morning, Detective Acosta was waiting for the tow truck for Stephan's Lincoln, and that's when I handed him the phone because he was going to Central Operations, and I was not.
Okay. Was that the last time that you had involvement with the phone?
Yes.
Okay. So after the handoff, nothing else, just to be clear.
In reference to, like, if I ever looked at the phone again?
Yeah.
Sure, I think it was like 2 days later.
Okay. So at that point, the phone's still in your law enforcement's possession?
Yes.
Oh, Casey Anthony. Yeah. Thank you, Cher. New to the chat, AG. Light them up. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shit. Hope you're having a good day. Oh, excuse me. I want to see Stephan. Cameraman, turn that shit on, Stephan. Turn that shit. I think this is a stationary cameraman, so it's unfortunate. Or this is a stationary camera. I think everything in court is a stationary camera, if I'm not mistaken. So sadly, we can't get that angle, but we see his little pussy face right there. Right there, man. Man, you just want to throw elbows when you see him. You ever get the feeling like you want to see what your skinny ass elbow does to someone's forehead? You could probably test it out on Stephan. The mouse droid.
Defense mentioned that there were other law enforcement personnel that were at the apartment complex. During your interactions with Mr. Stearns, who was in the immediate area?
Just myself and Detective Acosta. Everybody was kind of just hanging out in the area.
That's it? That's all she had to ask? Type shit. Yo, Green Eye Bandit, thank you for the gifted membership, man. Shout out Green Eye Bandit for making it rain out here. Appreciate you, ma'am. And Light 'em Up got a free membership. Shit, I guess it's meant to be. Welcome in, Light 'em Up. Welcome in as an official free 1 month member.
Interacted with Mr. Stearns. You indicated that you were going to take a photo of his history. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you take a photo of his history?
Yes.
Was that on your agency cell
Excuse
phone?
me, sorry.
Yes.
All right, Judge, what we doing?
Defense? Thank you. Detective, step down.
Yes, Your Honor.
Detective Tagler.
Okay, right before she steps down, Jess Coast. Okay, welcome to the memberships as well. We got all these new members, man. All these new subscribers, these new members. Shout y'all out, bruh. Shit's crazy. We've had about 2,000 new subscribers in the past 4 days. It's actually kind of fucking crazy. So shout out to all the new members. Appreciate y'all, man. Not new members. Shout out to the new subscribers and also to the new members. That's what I meant to say.
Detective Tagler.
Thank
Step
you.
down. Thank you. This is up.
Yes, Your Honor. Detective Lewis Acosta.
Lewis Acosta. So we're basically just going to have to go through all the detectives to make sure that nothing wrong was done, pretty much. I wonder how he would react if they tased him right now. It's like, I don't know. It's like you ever see people, you just want to see negative things come to them. It's crazy. Angel. Oh, she's... You said I've been around since 9K subs, man. That's crazy. I appreciate you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to enter into this case to be the
Why is bro posturing like that? Bro's out here postured up. He looks like that MMA. He looks just like that MMA fighter. No, I guess it's not Tito. It's that other guy. It's Tito Ortiz that kind of looks like that guy too. But it's another MMA fighter that looks just like this. It's actually kind of spooky. No, I'm not gonna waste my time looking for the name. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm gonna bring it up later.
Will you please say your first and last name and spell both for the record?
Louis Acosta.
And it's not even Tito Ortiz I'm talking about. There's another MMA fighter that looks even like it could be his fucking brother. It looks like it could literally be his brother, but I can't remember his name.
UISACOSTA.
How are you on Twitter?
Orange County Sheriff's Office as a detective.
He looks like a
How long
precious
have you been with the
golem.
sheriff's
What
office?
the
5
fuck?
years.
In February of 2024, what was your assignment?
I was a detective with the Orange County Sheriff's Office Sex Crimes Unit.
How long had you
Who's
been
it?
in that unit at that time?
Approximately 6 months.
Are you still assigned to that unit?
Yes.
How did you become involved in the investigation of missing juvenile Madeline Soto?
I was the secondary on-call detective at the time, and I assisted Detective Tagler with the investigation, going over to the command post. We assisted our missing persons unit at that time.
What information did you learn at the command post?
We learned that Maddie Soto had been missing for a little over 24 hours. She was 13 years old. We knew that the last person who had seen her was Mr. Stearns. Just, that basic information.
Okay. Did you also get information regarding LPR tag reader hits on Mr. Stearns' Lincoln?
Yes.
And you also got the timing of those tag reader hits?
Yes.
Did you respond along with Detective Tagler to 4012 Santa Maria Drive in Kissimmee?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, it was the original investigator, and then it was Tagler and him. Okay, cool. So these were the two that came through. I forgot his name. Somebody put his name in the. I forgot his name already. Somebody put his name in the chat. Por favor.
And did
Por
you learn
favor.
any additional information prior to speaking with Mr. Stearns at that address?
Yes. Prior, we were briefed of Detective Hunt, who's the initial primary detective assigned, just of additional details. For example, that she slept in the same bed as Mr. Stearns, things like that.
Did you assist?
Oh, Acosta. There we go.
interview
Yeah.
of Mr. Stearns that was conducted by Detective Tagler at approximately 7:16 in the evening?
Yes.
And this would be on February 27th of 2024.
Yes, correct.
Where did this interview take place?
It took place in the parking lot of their of the apartment complex near the residence, Maddie's residence.
Who was in the immediate vicinity as this interview was being conducted?
It was Mr. Stearns, myself, and Detective Tagler in the immediate vicinity.
Mrs.
Where
Tagler.
would you say the next closest law enforcement official was?
At least 25 yards away.
Were all of the law enforcement officials within view of where you were?
The ones that were in the parking lot could see the general vicinity of where we were at.
How many law enforcement officials would you say were in the parking lot area?
I appreciate you, Marley. Shout you out. Have a good one.
Maybe 10, fewer than 10.
No, Storm. I didn't block any comment. If you say outrageous shit, YouTube blocks it all. YouTube blocks it automatically.
And were these law enforcement officers engaged in tasks, sitting in vehicle, like what was going on?
Yes, just kind of setting up a perimeter around the area, making sure media didn't get too close, just kind of standing by for tasks.
Scene security?
Scene security.
Did any of these other law enforcement officials have contact besides you, Detective Tagler, and Detective Hunt earlier in the day with Mr. Stearns while you were there?
While we were there, no.
Where were you and Detective Tagler and the defendant standing during this encounter?
We were behind the trunk of a vehicle. I can't recall the specific vehicle.
Was Mr. Stearns' ability to move about freely inhibited by either of you?
It was not.
How about any other law enforcement officer that was there?
No.
Were there any law enforcement vehicles?
Because I think they're trying to say that they were trying to intimidate him into getting the phone, you know? So they're clarifying that, you know, Mr. Big, Costa, and Mrs. Sly and Sneaky Tagler didn't do anything wrong, okay? Because I kind of want to skip prosecution, but we're going to go through the whole thing. But when defense comes back around, they're going to try to paint the picture that they were, you know, they didn't allow him to go back into the house. They didn't even let him eat food. They were rude to him. They went through his phone and didn't ask every single time they switched an app for his consent. They asked one time. That's rude, huh? Listen, bro. It's not about your feelings. It's about the law, and it's very legal to do that. He didn't say no. He literally invited them to come and fuck around with his phone. What did you expect? So this is what they're doing on the prosecution. They're just making sure. Did you do anything to him? Did you beat him up? Did you block him? Did you trip him? Did you give him a wedgie like every single person in his old high school did? No, you didn't. Okay.
Prohibiting other vehicles from leaving the area or anything like that?
No.
What was Mr. Stearns' demeanor during your encounter with him?
Kind of very just matter of fact.
Would you classify his conversation with you as cooperative?
Yes.
What were you and Detective...
Oh, was he homeschooled? Oh, that would explain a lot.
Detective Tagler wearing, not obviously specifics of what you were wearing, but were you in plain clothes?
We were, yes, plain clothes.
Did either of you ever remove your firearms from their holsters?
No.
Did either of you remove any handcuffs, taser, any type of weapon?
No.
Were there any threats of arrest made?
No.
Was Mr. Stearns free to leave?
Yes.
Did Mr. Stearns, based upon your encounter with him, seem to respond appropriately to questions asked?
In what way?
He was lying, basically.
You asked a question, did Mr. Stearns respond in a way that was coherent?
Yes.
Did you have any difficulty communicating with Mr. Stearns?
No.
Did Mr. Stearns fall asleep or ask to be excused from the interview?
No.
At some point, did Detective Tagler ask Mr. Stearns to look at his cell phone?
Yes.
Do you recall where the cell phone was during this?
What's up, Fire?
When she asked to view his
What's
phone,
up, Firesword? How you doing?
he said yes, and it was within eyesight of him. We were right next to him.
Who had the phone when Detective Tagler asked to look at some of the stuff on the phone?
Mr. Stearns had the phone, and then he gave the phone to Detective Tagler after she asked, and he said yes.
Did Mr. Stearns have to do anything to the phone prior to giving it to?
He had to consciously unlock
He
it.
input his passcode to get it.
He had to consciously unlock it. That is, it's almost like a girl taking her panties off. Well, no, that's not. That's not a good example. But it's like he's clearly giving you consent. It's like getting naked and saying "fuck me," you know, and then later, like, it doesn't make sense, bro. Like, come on, it doesn't make sense. The man entered the password. Yeah, basically arrest me. Like, come on, bro.
Where was was the defendant and Detective Tagler standing while Detective Tagler was viewing the content of the cell phone?
They were standing shoulder to shoulder next to each other.
Were you asking questions at that point?
Yes.
Were you able to see the content of Mr. Stern's phone?
At some point.
Shit, I gotta stand up. Give me a sec.
Were you standing next to where Detective Tagler and Mr. Stearns were standing, or somewhere else?
Yes, next to both of them.
Was Mr. Stearns facing the general area of where his cell phone was being displayed from?
Yes.
There is a point in the interview where Detective Tagler steps away. Prior to stepping away, what is done with the cell phone?
She gives the cell phone back to Mr. Stearns.
Do you continue to have a conversation with Mr. Stearns?
Yes.
At any point in time, does Mr. Stearns discuss the content of the cell phone or Detective Tagler's looking through the phone?
No, I don't.
At some point, does Detective Tagler come back?
Yes.
And is the cell phone brought out again?
Yes.
At this point, who had the cell phone?
Still Mr. Stearns.
When Detective Tagler asks for Mr. Stearns to unlock the cell phone again, does he do so?
Yes.
Does he have to enter the passcode again?
Yes.
Are the circumstances surrounding this interaction the same as what you described previously as far as location and people involved?
Oh, you say you're going to see Kendrick concert in a week? Oh, next weekend. That's what's up, SC girl. Shout you out, man. Shit, that's crazy. I need to do the same thing the next time he does a show out here, but I be cheap. Nah, but fuck it. I'm gonna go for sure. One of these days.
The defendant's ability to leave?
Yes.
At the time that that interview concludes, Detective Tagler keeps Mr. Stern's cell phone, correct?
Yes.
What information did you have together about the Madeline Soto investigation?
So aside from what we had before, that she had been missing for over 24 hours, he was the last person to see her. There were many inconsistencies surrounding the time frame that he stated. He dropped her off and other things. And then the tag readers and information that we had about his movement.
They're just asking the same questions. That's why I don't really have much to say right now. They're just asking the same questions they asked the other detective. I want to see what defense is going to do with him, though, because they're probably going to use his like size and stature. They're going to be like, well, did you?
The defendant been?
They're going to be like, well, did you intimidate him? Did you? He wasn't even. He was still hungry. You didn't even let the guy eat. He had just woken up, and then you're all up in his face, just berating him, weren't you? And that's why he gave you. At the end of the day, he gave him consent. That's it. That's all we need to know. So, defense don't really have much to do here, other than to just fucking ask their juvenile ass questions. There's nothing more we need to hear. Like what you guys go by grades out here. It's different for police, but I think like a 7th grader, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like a 7th grader would be able to like understand this or ask these questions. It's not that hard.
Straightforward with you and Detective Tagler regarding his movements.
I'm about to switch in a minute. I just want to make sure we don't miss anything. I'm about to skip him.
His movements the morning of February 26, 2024.
He told us certain movements that didn't correlate to the information that we had.
Did you confirm with the defendant that he regularly used his cell phone to get places, look up addresses, get store hours, directions, things like that?
Yes, I believe that was brought up.
Were you aware that there was very limited location data and mapping location data that was in his phone when Detective Tagler checked that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same questions. All right. Fuck, man. I don't want to skip too crazy.
Were you aware also of information that was located in Madeline Soto's cell
Oh, you're saying no?
phone as
You guys are
communications
ridiculous.
between her and the defendant?
Yes.
All right, I'll leave it on.
They communicated extensively, including very late at night.
Somebody.
Were you also
Never mind.
present with Detective Tagler at the conclusion of this interview between the second interview that was conducted at 12:15 a.m.?
Yes.
What were you guys doing in that interim time?
So in the interim, we were reviewing surveillance video from the apartment complex.
Oh, this is
to
different. I
corroborate-
actually tuned out for 2 seconds here. This is actually different.
What were you guys doing in that interview that was the conclusion of this interview between the second interview that was conducted at 12:15 a.m.?
Yes.
What were you guys doing in that interim time?
So in the interim, we were reviewing surveillance video from the apartment complex.
Oh, okay.
To corroborate the times that you came back into the apartment complex.
Did you learn any new information when you did that?
Yes. One of the surveillance videos that we saw, it appeared that there was somebody either asleep, passed out, or not awake on the inside the video.
Somebody dead. Somebody deceased on the video is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Somebody deceased. No, I'm glad I didn't skip Firewood, because now we're getting into questions that the other detective didn't have. So this was the guy who this guy would fuck Stephan Stearns up in real life. He's just being professional right now, but this is the guy who found the footage, I guess. I'm sure he was alongside other people who were like going through the footage, but this is the guy who actually found dead Madeline in the car. So best believe bro is going to be back in court again when trial starts. And I think I saw the comments. I think it is May 5th. As long as they don't suppress this or push anything back on this hearing, I think we will be set for May 5th. But, don't quote me on it, because these things, they stay changing. But for now, that's what I believe is going on.
What exactly did you have information as to?
Did she just say that you had? I know it's been a long day.
What exactly did you have information as to?
Oh, no, she
the
said
last
have.
clothing items that Madeline Soto was reported to wear?
Yes.
Was the individual in the driver's seat or passenger seat is what you just described?
Yes, wearing the same.
Were they in the driver's seat or passenger seat?
Passenger seat, front passenger seat.
What about their appearance makes you believe that they were
Deceased?
not awake?
Slumped over, kind of leaning back. Just did not appear to be.
Conscious.
And you observed this video between the first and second interview.
Correct.
And the individual that you just described, was that consistent with the characteristics that you were knowledgeable about Madeline Soto?
Yes.
The second interview, were you present at 12:16 a.m. when Detective Tagler?
You say, yeah, bro, look big mad. I know, can't show emotions. No, I know. It's the one, you're kind of used to seeing tragedy, and it's two, it's like, I can't crash out. And be an asshole on the stand. Hold on. I got. Some graphic designer is trying to steal my other designer's job. That shit's grimy as fuck. I got an email from, I recognize the name too. I got an email from someone that I used before, and then he knows I'm using a new thumbnail editor, and he sent me an email trying to lowball his prices and tell me I should get with him. That shit's crazy, bro. And that's on stream, shit. That's crazy. Anyways, people are out here hustling.
Tagler again spoke with the defendant.
Yes.
And it was during this interaction where there was a brief conversation. Did you have a brief conversation with the defendant about what was seen in Madeline Soto's phone?
Yes.
What did the defendant attempt to explain that to you?
Yes.
What did he say?
He initially said she thought of him as a father figure. Then he immediately said she thinks of him as a father figure. Just said that it was a father figure-like relationship.
And you also were present when Detective Tagler then speaks about downloading the cell phone.
Yes.
Can you
So at this
kind of
point,
elaborate on that encounter as far as
what the fuck? Oh, I thought the whole stream died, bro. Holy shit. I thought like my whole setup died. Okay. No, I can't reload because I won't. Hold on.
factory reset
I believe.
of the cell phone?
I don't know what that was, but we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Shit. What was that? Oh, it was just, okay, it was like a stream malfunction. It's still there. You just have to skip. Okay.
She explained we would be taking the phone, be getting it back whenever the phone download was complete.
Did Mr. Stearns limit
I thought the stream was over. I was like, damn, did my whole shit crash? We're back. We're back.
the download of the cell phone in any way?
No.
Did the defendant refuse to give consent to download the phone?
No.
Just checking your
Did
laptop.
the defendant willingly provide the passcode to this phone?
Yes.
And all of this is recorded, right?
Yes.
At what point do you recall learning that the phone was factory reset?
I believe during the first interview, while Detective Tagler was looking through the phone, she noticed that the call logs, he only
What's
had
up, Summer?
calls from that day, the date of the interview, so from February 27th. So she asked him about it, why he only had calls from that date. He said
So mad.
had accidentally factory reset his phone the day prior, attempting to.
And let's just go back into memory lane for all of those who are just coming up in here. You know, it takes at least 7 conscious steps, at least 7 conscious steps to factory reset your phone. Including those 7 conscious steps includes you entering your overall password, not your quick password, your overall 6-digit password twice. No one on this planet can accidentally reset their phone. Nobody. I promise you. It's almost scientifically proven. What are the odds of accidentally, even let's say you ass dialed your phone all 5 steps of the way. So now you're into your butt cheeks were deleting it. Your butt cheeks were entering certain areas. When you get to the point where it's like, are you sure you want to delete it? Your butt cheek entered your proper password by accident, what's the probability of a 6-digit password being right? You guys put the math in the comments. I don't think that's ever going to happen. So, you know. Oh, I accidentally reset my phone. Nobody. Shh.
Like just some sort of update. There you go.
You know, it's really all believable until you have to enter that password, because now, and even let's say the password was 0000 all the way through, that's still a probability that you have to fight against with your butt dialing it, because it's just randomly dialing shit, right? So you mean to tell me your ass entered the right password twice by accident? Well, I'll be goddamn. That'll be the first man in history to do that.
As a law enforcement
Hold on, let me.
officer, have you had the ability to seize or collect cell phones belonging to individuals during investigations?
Yes.
When a cell phone is taken, are you aware, or do you put the cell phone in airplane mode or secured in any way?
Yes, it's placed on airplane mode.
Why?
To prevent it from being remotely reset or anything being deleted remotely.
So you're aware of that possibility?
Yes.
Shit, I didn't even know that. If they take my, oh yes, I can. Yes, I did know that. I did know that. If someone takes my iPhone right now, I could go to the iCloud and still, I think I could retrieve all my data, or I could delete it. It's like a feature that phones have. You could remotely do shit. I don't even think, honestly, bro, I don't think Stephan Stearns was like savvy enough to even pull some shit like that off. I'm gonna be real with y'all. He wasn't even savvy enough.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Oh, one of the homies. Oh shit, that's Mario. Yo, shout out my boy fucking Mario in the chat. Shit. You know, two of my friends came into my live stream like 3 nights ago and I didn't even realize them, bro. That shit's crazy. I'ma pin you, big dog. Shit, stop playing. That's the homie right there, okay? Shit. I appreciate the support, Mario. Appreciate you, big dog. Hell yeah. Shout him out, folks. Shit.
The interactions between you and Stephan Stearns, that was audio recorded, right?
Yes.
Not video recorded?
Mario Almora in the building.
And it's my understanding that you have an agency-issued cell phone, right?
Yes.
And that has the ability to document photos as well as videos?
Yes.
Did you do any of that documentation, the photos and videos, while you were speaking with Mr. Stearns?
I did not.
Type shit. Yo, I think Mario might be the one who got me into the whole type shit situation, guys. So if you would shout him out for the brain rot inspiration, you know? We got everybody in this chat saying type shit now.
Arrived on scene, said there was about 10 other either deputies or officers on scene?
Roughly spread around the parking lot area.
Okay. And you said that they were securing a perimeter, right?
Correct.
Making sure that media wasn't coming in and out of the apartment complex, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that means that there were going to be officers at the main entrance area of the complex?
Yes.
Okay. And they would be staying right there the entire time, making sure who's coming and going, right?
Yes.
I need more agua. Give me a minute.
And at this point, it sounds like the apartment was getting secured to search it, right?
Yes.
Suzanne, did you have crime scene tape and everything?
I can't recall about the time of the interviews. Yeah, crime scene up.
Okay. At some point it got crime scene tape, though.
Yes.
Okay. And when you say that the officers, deputies, whatever, were in the parking lot, were they
Type shit.
clumped up in one group together or across the entirety of the parking lot?
So some of the detectives were kind of in one group, and then uniform patrol were kind of in the perimeter for scene security.
And while State asked you if you ever removed your firearm, I just want to clarify, you had your firearm on you, right?
Yes.
You're in plain clothes at this point, right?
Yes.
So is your firearm?
All right, defense. Oh. 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 Oh, shit.
On your holster? Or-
Yep. On my hip, yep.
Yeah. So it's visible.
Yes.
And you said that while you're questioning, well, you and Detective Tagler were questioning Mr. Stearns, you're both standing by a vehicle, right?
Yes.
I don't know whose it is, but it was a vehicle, right?
Yes.
Okay. And at this point, Tagler's questioning him, you're questioning him, he's in the middle of you two, right?
I can't recall where he was between both of us.
Okay. But you're all towards, it sounds like the back of the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And you had stated that while Tagler's taking a look at the phone, you're close enough to see the phone, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you can actually see what's happening on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not like when we're saying that you're standing around the vehicle, somebody's over by the front of the car over here and somebody's all the way at the trunk of the car over here, and you're all grouped up together, right?
Correct.
Now, it was during that first interview that you learned that the phone was factory reset somehow, right?
Yes.
And
Where are they going with this? I thought I knew where they were going, but now it seems like...
y'all were leaving the scene. It sounds like Tagler gave you the phone?
She gave it to Mr. Stearns.
Okay. At the entirety of both first interview, second interview, everything. When you're taking the phone to the sheriff's.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Gotcha. So you had the phone at this point?
Yes.
Before you had come into possession of the phone to take it back to the sheriff's office, it sounds like it was in Tagler's car?
I'm not sure where it was.
You said nowhere to confuse the witness. Typical defense. Now, the thing is, there's no jury or anything. Oh, to confuse the witness, not the jury. I mean, how are you going to confuse a fucking detective, bro? They're the confusion. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. I am the danger type shit. They are the confusion. That's their fucking job. You see how he tried to trip up Tagler, right? Tagler was over there almost falling asleep answering that shit. She couldn't give a fuck. She's like, bro, I know these tactics. I'm better at you than this shit. One thing about lawyers, they're good at like shaping things and telling stories and shit like that. But another thing about detectives, they can see through that bullshit. So, you know, I don't think it's gonna work. Like he's been, didn't he say he was on this particular assignment for like 9 years already? Like, bro, you're not gonna get him to fuck up.
But between the first interview and the second interview with Mr. Stearns, it sounds like there's about maybe a 4-hour gap, right?
Yes, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. And at that point, you said that you went to the management to kind of take a look at the video surveillance, right?
Yes.
Okay. It'll take you 4 hours to go through all the video surveillance?
Not all just at the video surveillance. We were also debriefing kind of next steps, things like that, discussing the case.
So when you're saying debriefing, like, right, just you and Tagler, or are you talking to other people?
Other people, the unit,
Okay, so where does that happen?
in the management area.
Okay. So at that point, while you're debriefing, roughly how many law enforcement personnel are there?
I don't recall the number.
Can you remember anybody that was there off the top of your head? Sure.
Detective Tagler, myself, direct supervisors, so maybe a corporal and a sergeant.
Okay. So at least 2 other people present?
Yes.
And it's at this point, so that's where you all were talking to supervisors, right?
Yes.
And at that point, it sounds like one of the supervisors was like, hey, we need to go get that cell phone down, right?
Yeah, I believe it came up during the conversation.
Okay. And during that conversation, did anybody ever mention, hey, let's get a warrant to download that?
Not to my recollection.
Okay.
I'm about to skip this shit, bro.
After you take the phone to the sheriff's office, do you ever interact with the phone again?
No.
Okay, so you just hand it off to the forensics guys and you're done?
Yes.
And
He always goes back to her. So she's Miss Researcher. She gets all the stuff together. She's the one, I think she's the one putting this defense together. That's my opinion. Maybe he's a bit more eloquent on his feet, or maybe he has more experience, but I feel like she's the one with this master plan. You know, Stephan likes talking to women only. Stephan's a female talker type of guy. He's more comfortable around women. We've seen that before. So I think, you know, Stephan and her had that little conversation, and they actually bullied me into giving my phone away, and it wasn't even supposed to have. She's the one creating this whole defense idea. And whatever that thing was yesterday that they wanted to be able to add into this suppression hearing is just going to be more of the same murky water bullshit. That's what she really wanted, because whatever they have that they wanted more time to put into this hearing was clearly to just make things take longer, in my opinion. Like, clearly, anything we could do to make it take longer. Even if the judge has to wait another month, we'll take it. Leanne says she's rolling up some za. Okay. Man, listen, I'm out. I'm a ganja-less person. For now. For now. Hold on now. Just give me a minute.
Neither you nor Tagler ever gave the phone back to Mr. Stearns, right?
Correct.
You held on to it the entire time.
Yes.
No further questions.
Did you conduct any interviews between the first and second interview with Mr. Stearns?
Yes.
Who else did you interview?
Jennifer.
So that was also during that 4-hour period?
Yes.
No further questions.
Detective, between the first and second interview, around a 4-hour, at the conclusion of the first interview, did you observe anyone direct Mr. Stearns that he could not?
No.
And when you returned after 4 hours, Mr. Stearns was where?
He was in the same parking lot area.
Any follow-up questions, Dave?
I don't think so. What'd she say? No? I doubt they're going to follow up. This is nothing but bullshit. Hold on.
Parking lot area.
Any follow-up questions, Dave?
No, Your Honor. Yeah. They know they won this. And you know, this is how this trial is going. What they're trying to avoid right now is just being pummeled, because let's take it this way. If this case goes to trial without all the CSAM photos, prosecution's just going to have to talk about it, right? So they're just doing anything they can to keep those photos out. What's gonna happen is this very same thing. They're gonna have Stigler, or what's her name? They're gonna have the female detective come up. They're gonna have him come up, Mr. Acosta come up, and all that shit is gonna be paired with pictures and videos. And in about, I'm predicting a week, the second they finish getting through the evidence, which is not much other than a bunch of disgusting pictures, the second they get through that, he's going to go to jail. And I think I think the defense is just doing their best to have some sort of a fighting chance.
During that time span between the two interviews, did anybody tell him that he could leave?
No. I would say no. We didn't tell him he could leave, but it's called free fucking will. If I tell you to go set yourself on fire, are you going to fucking do that? Like, defense is full of shit. Like, this is the worst. I think they're coming to this hearing to just lose, because this was done earlier on in time just to buy time. Now it showed up. Now we're here. They don't have any argument.
Detective Stephan?
Yes,
Is he excused from this?
I appreciate you, Green Eye Bandit. Shout you out, man.
Additional witnesses are up.
Yes, Your Honor. Sergeant Darko.
All right, Sergeant's not going to be as long, I could already tell.
Say your first and last name. say your first and last name and spell both for the record?
Darkos Domenic, Darkosta.
I'll be back. I gotta get my clothes on.
How are you employed?
I'm currently a sergeant at the Orange County Sheriff's Office Digital Forensics Squad
How long have you been a member of the forensic squad?
since June of 2023.
What type of training have you undergone to perform some of your duties in the forensic team?
So going back to college at the University of Central Florida, I minored in IT. After that, I went to Cellbrite School, where I became a Cellbrite certified operator as well as Cellbrite certified physical analyst. Those are two certifications that we have to use some of the tools that we use. And then I also went to the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists, where I obtained my certified computer forensic examiner certification as well.
Did you download any phones as part of the investigation into the disappearance?
Yes, I did.
Did you first download a phone that belonged to Madeline Soto?
Yes.
When did you begin that cell phone download?
It was shortly after 2 p.m. on February 27th.
Do you recall about what time that download was completed and viewable?
I believe around 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's a couple hours.
A couple hours, right?
Okay. So, can you explain how an extraction is done with the equipment that you used in this particular case?
Yes, so we have a tool that we use to extract the data. So we connect the phone to a tool. The tool's able to extract the data, bypass any whatever passwords there are on the phone, if there are any. Extract the data from the phone. Then we take that data, and we have another tool that parses that data, basically makes it readable by a human.
Is the time that
Trying to watch on my phone while I was getting ready.
extract the data from a phone variable upon the specific phone, maybe the data that's included in the phone?
Yes, absolutely.
Specifically with Madeline Soto's phone download, after it was completed, did you have the ability to share the data with other law enforcement officials that were working that same investigation?
Yes, I did.
How did you do that?
So we have a tool where we're able to upload that data that we extracted, and we're able to share it in the cloud to detectives, so detectives out in the field can view it.
Did you do that with Madeline Soto's cell phone the same day that
Yes.
you covered the data?
I literally just have to go downstairs, but I was looking kind of crazy, so I had to put some pants and some shoes on and shit.
Yes, I did.
Did you also complete the cell phone download for the defendant, Mr. Stern, in this case?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall when you received Mr. Stern's cell phone?
Yes, so shortly before 3 a.m. on February 28th.
Did you wait at Orange County Sheriff's Office Central Communications Building?
I did, yes.
So you waited for Detective Acosta to come from Kissimmee?
Correct.
Acosta. I thought it was Costa.
What did you do upon receipt of the phone?
I began extracting the phone, and then I went home.
Sorry to interrupt. 2:28 at 3 a.m.
That's crazy. Everybody thank AG. He said he's going to buy GTA 6 for everyone who's in the chat. Hell nah. That would kill my bank account. That's insane. Yo, what's up, Richard Wade? Shit, we got Mario Almora and Richard Wade, the boys, in the fucking chat, okay? See, we got to be doing something right. We even got folks from all over the place coming in the chat. Let's go. AG, the new Oprah? Hell no, I'm not.
So what specifically did you do with the phone to begin the extraction?
Connect it to a tool, and
So this is Mr. Sergeant Extractor right here. Oh,
the
shit.
procedures on the tool to begin extracting the data.
Was the cell phone itself,
All right, guys, I'm watching on my phone. I have it loaded up. I'm about to go outside and get me some greenery, if you know what I mean. A wink. I'll be right back though. I'll leave it on.
Secured in any way prior to your receipt of it to secure the data in the phone?
Yes, it was placed in airplane mode.
And after you plug the phone into the equipment that you utilized, you said you went home.
Correct.
Did the cell phone download process during your period of absence?
Yes.
Did you secure the room that this was being completed?
Yes.
And what time did you arrive back?
I believe it was about 8 a.m.
Did you check on the progress of the phone download?
Yes,
Was it completed?
it was.
Fucking keys, bro.
Can you explain, for this particular phone, I believe it was a Samsung type phone?
Correct.
How do you factory reset it?
Yes, so you have to go into the settings of the phone. I believe the next button says general settings, so you have to go into there. Once you go into there, you have to scroll to a button that says factory reset. Once you press the factory reset button, it asks you a couple of times if you're sure. It makes you type in your PIN code to the phone again to verify that it's you to reset the password, to reset the phone, I'm sorry.
So it's multiple steps to actually accomplish a factory reset.
It is, yes.
Is this possible to do if you're simply updating the operating system on that particular phone?
No, the button to update is in a completely different part of the settings.
When this specific phone is factory reset and the user goes back on to, again, utilize the phone, is there any information that is populated on the phone from prior uses?
Yes, so when you're resetting the phone, it asks you to log back into your Google account, and then information that you have backed up on Google will repopulate onto the phone.
If the phone is placed in airplane mode, does that prohibit the phone from resyncing with a Google account?
Yes, it does.
If items are subsequently deleted from a Google account and the phone is in airplane mode, do the items remain on the phone if they've been backed up?
They do.
If a phone is factory reset, is it still possible to obtain location data and other information from before the factory reset?
It is, yes.
How do you do that?
Different ways. So, for example, the pictures, if pictures are backed up, if the pictures are pulled again, the pictures may have location data associated with them. So things of that sort.
It has no further questions.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Good afternoon.
So, you're in charge of doing the forensic downloads on the phone?
Correct.
Okay. And when you're doing those forensic downloads, you said that there's a tool that you plug the phone into to fully download the phone, right?
Correct.
So it's not just downloading the information that's immediately accessible to the user, it's downloading everything, right?
Correct.
When it's doing that download, does it do a bit-by-bit copy of the entirety of that drive?
No, it depends on the phone.
Okay. And with this particular phone, did it?
This particular phone, it did a full file system extraction, so it's not a bit-by-bit copy.
Gotcha. So when it does that, though, if the phone's factory reset, you can still pull that information off the phone, even though it's not immediately accessible to the user?
Like, I'm sorry, what information?
The information prior to the factory reset.
Oh, no, not necessarily, no.
Okay, not necessarily, but in this case, you were able to pull information prior to the factory reset, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And when it comes to pulling that information, how long can that information stick around on the phone?
So in this case, the information had repopulated after the reset. So it was on the cloud and then it repopulated on the phone automatically after the reset. reset.
Do you know at what time?
It was, I believe, around 2 a.m. After the reset. I believe the reset was around midnight, and over the next couple of hours, the phone repopulated.
You're saying 2 a.m. same day you downloaded it?
No, it would have been when the phone was reset, and I don't want to speculate the date.
Gotcha, no problem. When it comes to a phone being factory reset, are you on any kind of timeline to make sure you recover data?
Not really, no.
Okay, so that's not a concern to law enforcement, right?
No.
Okay, so once it's factory reset, it's factory reset. Doesn't matter.
Okay, we're back. I was trying to listen to as much as I could downstairs. I finally got the ganjasita, so I'm happy now. He's back. He back act normal. Oh, he's back act normal. Hold on. What the fuck? What's going on in here? What's going on in here? Chill. I appreciate y'all for waiting, man. Y'all some real ones. Let's continue though.
Right.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. All right, we're locked in.
You have to download this phone. Anybody give you a warrant alongside the phone?
No.
No.
Read rec? Witness, step down. Sergeant Stanek.
Get up out of here, Sergeant. Get up out of here.
This court is in a 5-minute recess.
They said court's in a 5-minute recess. I wonder how it feels to bend over and talk to someone like that. Like, you know, it's like my dad, for example, he was like a counselor at the Belize prison for a while. And he was like a counselor. So these are people who wanted to like change their lives. They did terrible things, but they changed their lives and shit. So I'd ask him like how, or trying to change their lives and shit. So, you know, I'd ask him like, you're not scared of them or nothing, or like you don't feel uncomfortable. And he would tell me like, nah, not really. It's just like some people are crazy, but it just comes with the territory. I wonder what it is. I wonder what it's like to look somebody in the eye like that, but they're still trying to say they're innocent. That must be disgusting. Pressure. That's some pressure. That must be disgusting, bro, because, you know, it's one thing you're convicted and you're sorry. It's another thing where you bend over and like, yeah, we should do this, we should do that, and then we could probably free you doing this, knowing that this motherfucker is guilty as shit. That must be a tough job. I would never be a defense attorney just for the simple fact that I would probably crash out on his ass. Like at some point I would probably smack him or do some weird shit. So shout out to the defense attorneys out there, because that shit is not for the weak. Take extremely long showers after work. Listen, my dad took long showers after work. It might be because of some of the issues at prison. That might be the remedy right there. Long showers. Shit. Green Eye Bandit, thank you so much, man. Green Eye Bandit's out here showing love the whole stream, okay? Another 3 from Green Eye Bandit. I appreciate you, ma'am. Hell yeah. Shout her out. Wait, what is he saying? What is he saying? What is he saying? Turn it up. Turn it up. We're blasting the volume. Let's just keep it something. Guys, to all the folks who are audiophiles, what did he say? I don't know what the fuck he said. I think we should just wait and something. Silent lurker from the UK. What's up, Cupid? All right, let's skip the reset. Oh. He said it in Chomo. Hold on. Why won't it just tell me his age? Stephan Stern's age, Florida. He was like 40, right? So now he's like 41, 42. He says, sorry, I don't speak Chomo. Real shit, bro. And he's really up in our ear. I wonder if his breath stink. I know his breath stink, bro. Like, I don't know if he has the proper hygiene tools in prison like that. Just all up in her face, just talking to her. This is why I told you she's the one who came up with this defense. This guy is just here to say it out loud because she seemed a little nervous in yesterday's hearing. Jim had pointed that out. She did seem a little nervous. But make no mistakes. I feel like she thought of this defense and she thought it might actually work out. But let's skip this because nothing's happening now. He's got his little chains and whatnot, his little pretty chains. They should give him pink chains because he's so much of a fucking bitch. You know how, which woman prisoner had pink chains? Somebody had pink chains. They should give those to him. The pink chains would suit him more. Wait, what are we laughing about? I want to laugh, please. Oh my god, that was so funny. Oh my goodness, I get it. I got the joke. I understood it. That was funny. That was funny as fuck. You know what's funny though? I feel like defense and prosecution see each other like every other day. Like, I bet you defense and prosecution go out on lunch dates every once in a while. You like Miss Dreadlocks and Mr. And Mrs. What's her name on the other side on defense? They probably go on lunch dates every once in a while. You know what I mean? They probably go on lunch dates and shit. They know this guy is fucked. They're just doing their job at this point, it kind of seems like. And actually, let me take off this hoodie before I overheat. Give me a sec. Stearns is 1986. All right, now we're back to normal. 86 isn't that old. He's barely 40.
Your Honor, let's seek some clarification. Your Honor, let's seek some clarification from the court as to whether we're going through all three motions today or just the first two that we're going over, because the state's position is that the burden is substantially different for the challenge to the warrant.
Understood. Do you believe that you have presented the witnesses for the first two motions?
The first two motions are the seizure motion and the consensual search motion, yes.
What's the third motion?
Defense, in your motion as to the motion to suppress evidence obtained from the Google search warrant, there was some argument that the defense does not have the burden or has satisfied its burden. I'll entertain argument as to that. Sure.
So this is the final one. The fact that he has himself some clown-ass public defenders says it all, bro. And somebody in my comments for the last video yesterday said, no, his parents are poor, they filed bankruptcy. Listen, filing bankruptcy doesn't necessarily mean that you're poor. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that you're poor all the time. I honestly think they could have bought him an attorney. They could have bought the services of an attorney if they really wanted to. I think they saw this as a waste of fucking time. And now we have these, I don't want to call them clowns, but we have these people who don't really see you as the same bag. You're just another public case that can't afford shit. It's like it's not like you get that lawyer who, 80% of his effort is focused on you. His parents, they gave up on this guy. They gave up on him. Gave up.
When it comes to the burden for attacking the warrant itself, the primary basis for the state's argument is it's on four corners of the warrant affidavit. So when it comes to the burden itself, we would be arguing that it's satisfied at least for the arguments we heard at this point.
Understood. So,
Sorry.
did you anticipate presenting witnesses or evidence in support of that motion?
No.
So you're just going to present argument?
Yeah.
Let's hear it, baby. Let's hear it get suppressed. Let's get it done.
The chain of how the warrant came about, and then getting to the cell phone download, and then there's the warrant itself.
Okay. So you're going to make argument as to the sufficiency of the warrant itself and technical defects?
Yes.
And rely on the evidence that's been adduced in cross-examination to support the probable cause or the lack of probable cause for the. Say any clarity?
No, Your Honor, Florida Rule of Criminal Procedure 3.190, subsection G3 specifically states if the court.
Of course, my refrigerator decides to start doing that dumbass.
Here's the motion on its.
Man, today is a really get up type of stream, it
Shall
feels
present
like.
evidence supporting the defendant's position, and the state may offer rebuttal evidence that the defense's burden is to show that there's grounds for suppression of the warrant. I don't believe that that burden has been met for the state to be required to present rebuttal evidence. The affidavit is not before Your Honor.
All right, so as to sufficiency of the warrant, what evidence does the court have to make some determinations as to the sufficiency of the warrant? Talking about the technical defects that are alleged in the motion.
Yes, Your Honor. At this point, it's actually part of the court file, so we'd be asking Your Honor to take judicial notice of the search warrant.
Can't hear shit, guys.
Search warrant is not part of the court file.
Absent some affirmative presentation of evidence regarding the argument, that's some kind of technical deficiency that makes the search warrant of the Google activity unlawful.
This is what, man, it sucks that this is what we came here for, guys. Just keep in mind, this is what we came here for. Just can't really listen, can't really hear him. But I think the judge is about to make his decision, it seems.
Be hard pressed to make a determination as to that. Let me ask the state.
Let me bass boost the
Requiring the defense to
audio.
recall the witnesses that have just testified, or if they can find their argument to
It's at
information
max.
that was elicited either in direct on cross. Does that satisfy their burden, or shall we go through that entire exercise again? Sure.
I hope they have better tech for trial. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what courtroom they go into. I don't think the courts really give a fuck about us watching online. You get what you get. They have their stenographer lady. They have everything on record. So for us, it's kind of like you get what you get, bitch. But hopefully they have a better courtroom. That's the one thing I'll say is different courtrooms sound different in the same building. So it helped. Okay, I boosted it a little bit, but I don't think you guys could. I don't think it's like you can't tell. It was like a tiny bit of extra, but maybe hopefully that helped y'all. It's not gonna help me. I have to fight through it, but for you guys, it might be louder. Listening to AG while packing for a flight in the morning. Yo, what's up, Carrie? Where are you in the morning? You're not in the U.S., are you? Where are you from, Carrie? Carrie Lucas. I'm in the West Coast. That means it's morning has passed for everybody. Unless you're in a
Your Honor,
different.
the state is of the position that the defense's burden regarding challenging the search warrant has not been.
I know Stephan Stearns' smell is absorbing between these two fucking attorneys, bro. Someone just said Mr. Stank or the Stank. You know that smell is radiating between these two motherfuckers right here.
The state's not going to require the defense to recall the witnesses that have previously testified. However, there is no information before the court about the Google search warrant at this point. So the state's position is that they have not met their burden pursuant to the Court of Rules of Criminal Procedure to shift, to require the state to present rebuttal evidence at this point.
Oh, what's up, Amy? No, this is Stephan Stearns' trial. All the pictures, because if you ever heard of Stephan Stearns, you know they got him for a CSAM case first, then murder. They're trying to essentially keep all the photos out of court because the cops, they're essentially trying to end the case with a technicality. So Stephan Stearns only has to face his murder charge. So let's think in Stephan Stearns' perfect world. This is what he was telling his parents. In Stephan's perfect world, this trial gets dismissed completely. Police officers didn't do their job right. There's not enough evidence. Jury frees him. Okay. Then he goes to, well, doesn't free him. They acquit him from that trial. Then he goes to the murder trial and somehow beats that also. That's his long shot win. That's his long shot. Because if he loses this, he's fucked anyway. If he loses the second one, he's fucked anyway. He has to win both of them. And there is no way to win this CSAM trial other than removing all of his CSAM activity, right? You know, it's kind of genius if it worked, but it's not going to work. Oh, yeah, he's going to get bent for sure. He might get himself a boyfriend. You never know. He might willingly do it. Stephan Stearns, listen, Stearns seems like the type of guy who will willingly give that shit up. Oh, don't stab me. No, don't shank me. I have my root beer barrels. You can have them. And do you want some booty? That's what Stephan would do. He would switch teams immediately. He is that type of a guy. What's up, Ipa? Thank you for the membership, Miss Ipa. Hell yeah. Welcome back in for a whole 16 months. Okay? Long time member. Shit. No, the public, I ain't got nothing against the public defenders. The one thing is, they could have done better. And I'm not rooting for this fuck face, but I'm just saying they could have done so much better installing. If he had actual attorneys, we would be seeing this trial in 2026. Now, let me, I'm not taking away from the public defenders, but let's just keep it real. If he had like dedicated lawyers that were getting some shmoney, some dough, they would this trial would happen in 2026. I have no doubts. Unless he didn't waive his right to a speedy trial. I'm not sure. Unless he wants a speedy trial, I mean, then that's different, but I'm not sure about that.
Additional testimony, the court's going to rely on the testimony that's been provided. There was a cross-examination and redirect. That information is in the record. Defense can make argument that satisfies their burden.
You said his public pretenders. Let's not bash the public defenders too either, because you know a lot of people start off as public defenders and shit, and you know get their own practice. And what makes public defenders shitty is not them; it's their circumstances. Who said 30 to 50? Yeah, Kathy said the public defenders have 20 to 30 cases piled on them at once. Like that's the difference. They can't afford to give a fuck about you that deeply, you know, because after this fucking trial, she's probably going straight into another courtroom to, you know, defend some other piece of shit. So,
State anticipating presenting additional evidence.
The state has an additional witness should the court find that the defense has met their burden to challenge the warrant.
Defense makes argument that Google warrant relied on illegally obtained evidence and that there was no attenuation or intervening circumstances that first obtained. Court has heard testimony from the investigating detectives that challenges the legality of both the search and seizure. That appears to be what the challenge on the warrant refers to, and that it is invalid as fruit of those illegal searches. As far as the application failing to establish probable cause, the court does not have the application. As far as the legal standard, probable cause in digital search warrants, the court is uncertain what kind of warrant this was or whether it was a digital search warrant. The argument that it fails to establish the sufficient nexus between the Google account and criminal activity, I don't have the affidavit, so that would be a difficult finding for the court to make. The reliance on boilerplate language, again,
bro, sir, please.
support that argument.
I think he's denying everything right now, and he's giving his reasons, but I could barely hear him.
The temporal scope of the court would have no evidence to support that argument, and
He's saying there's no evidence to support this, that, and the other. Basically, that they unlawfully looked through his phone and unlawfully handled his phone. And I think he's saying that he has to. I'm not sure if he's going to give his answer today, because I think he's saying he has to actually go through those warrant lists that were actually handed out later on. So I can't hear him. So I could be talking bullshit. I'm trying. He's denying every request, right? Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Basically, like toward the end of everything, he's saying there's not enough evidence to support, not enough evidence to support, not. He's about, you know, we knew this was going to happen. It was about the journey, not the ending.
searches. Without additional information, the court would find that there's no evidence to support that argument.
No evidence to support that argument. So is there, he's going down the list.
To the evidence supporting the arguments that the search warrant is invalid based on lack of probable cause, reliance on illegally obtained evidence of intervening circumstances purging that taint, and being invalid as fruit of an illegal search and seizure.
Invalid as fruit of an illegal search and seizure. He's invalidating everything.
Evidence has been reduced in combination with the first two motions. So as to those issues, the court will find that there's been record evidence that supports that argument.
Given the hour at this point, defense would be asking if we can bifurcate the first two motions from third.
These three motions were set together, and all three.
Given the court's ruling, the state will call its next witness, Detective Taylor Howard.
Fuck, man. What the fuck just happened? No, we know what happened. Two of these motions that they passed, that it was illegal search and seizure, have been denied. Now the third motion, I'm not sure what that was about. It's the same thing. The third motion on improper use of the Google information is what we're doing now. Man, I wish I could hear them, man. That would have been so much more. I'll watch it back when somebody has proper audio. When everybody posts their own videos, I'll watch it back, and then I'll probably make a video to clarify. What's up, Jen? Oh, shit. Esmeralda with a big fat 20 super chat in the fucking building. I appreciate you, ma'am. Everybody shout out Esmeralda. Throw out some orange hearts for her. I don't remember how I found you, AG, but I'm very happy I did. Man, Invisible Dap. I appreciate you, Esmeralda. Hell yeah. No, we've been covering hella cases, man. We've picked up a lot of people along the way. And I appreciate you for being one of them. Suppress info. Okay, so this motion is to suppress the information. So, okay, all right. Thank you, Boo. I'm going to come back to that. Everybody make sure you throw your hearts. I appreciate you, Esmeralda. Wait till I get a soundboard. I'm about to blow up the spot when super chats fly in. I'm going to get the whole sound. It's going to be crazy, but that later. So the first two motions were about illegal search and seizure for Stephan Stearns with the two detectives and the sergeant. The third motion is to suppress the information. So they already know going into the third motion that they're not going to get it, but that's what I think he was talking about. I can't think of the word, but for the process, we're going to go ahead and do the third motion is basically what's happening. For the love of the process, basically. I think. Okay, all right, we're skipping that.
Please raise your right hand and be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to
Okay, she got the badge too. See, this is how you know she's about that shit. This is how you know she's about that shit. She got that shit on the chest, okay? Don't fuck with her.
Please say your first and last name for the record.
Taylor Heller.
I did not expect that voice. I did not expect that voice. I ain't gonna lie.
First name is Taylor. Last name is Heller.
How are you employed?
With the Orange County Sheriff's Office as a deputy.
Were you employed with the Orange County Sheriff's Office on February?
Oh, you said lots of her conditions visible.
Yes.
Can I approach a witness with both the North State C for identification?
Hey, you're allowed to show cleavage as a woman. That's my stance on it. Shit. Show as much titties as you want. I ain't got no problems. If that's what you meant, Jen. Imagine Miss Sweet Voice sends you to jail for like 30 years or some shit. That shit would haunt me. What are we doing? Okay, we're seeing the exhibit. We're watching the exhibit.
Did you draft the affidavit for search warrant encompassed in State C in relation to the Madeline Soto investigation?
Yes.
Is this State C a fair and accurate copy of that affidavit?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the State C is introducing evidence with the North State C
Cross-examination.
Yes.
This
I'm sorry, guys. I tried to skip it, and then they said something that was important. They asked her one question, and that was it.
in relation to encompassed and states the C in relation to the Madeline Soto investigation.
Yes.
Is this state C a fair and accurate copy of that affidavit?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state seeks to introduce into evidence what the mark state C into evidence of the state's next matter.
No objection.
No further question.
Thank you. Cross-examination. Thank you. Detective Miller, step back.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I think she just confirmed that the affidavit was submitted or some shit. Okay, goodbye. Appreciate you, ma'am.
Ladies, need a moment together. Recess. Each side will have 20 minutes to present their argument.
20 minutes recess. Okay, that's why the stream is so long, because they don't really even do shit. What the fuck? Is this my internet or is it the stream? I don't see too many worry lines, to be honest with you. Look at him. He's such a little bitch. You can't sit down for 3 hours without taking a piss, Stephan. Can't use the restroom. He always wants the can I, may I, am I allowed to? Remember his dad in one of the phone calls was like, we'll have to write the prison a note so that you could come and hang out with the family. Ha 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 ha. How is that even a joke for a grown-ass 40-year-old man? Write a note? They still treat him like a child. He's over here begging and shit like a little baby. This shit's crazy. You can't sit down for 3 hours without taking a piss. May I use the bathroom? I guess he does have some worry lines. He got them two bad boys at the top right there. Bam, bam. He got two bad boys at the top, but he's probably just had that from age. I have all these worry lines. He's so much bigger than I thought he was. I take it back from my last video. This guy is not losing weight. If anything, he gained a little bit of weight. All right, let's skip. If anything, he gained a little bit of weight. Honestly, I said in the other video he looked like he may have lost a little. I take that back. I think he's on the higher side.
This time defense is moving to suppress the evidence obtained by way of the Google extraction and the entirety of the data that was elicited from Google that was sought by a warrant. Defense is also seeking to suppress the actual cell phone itself and the data contained therein.
It's not gonna happen, brother.
For the first two arguments as to the unlawful search and seizure of the cell phone, defendant is relying on the United States Constitution, Fourth Amendment, as well as the Florida Constitution, Article 1, Section 12, specifically that as we go through this is all kind of intermixed between the two motions, but looking to
Yo, appreciate you,
the first
Jamie.
motion as to the seizure of the cell phone. At this point,
Jamie, sometimes you just have to play Old MacDonald Had a Farm and dumb it down for some of these people, man. Don't even get me started with that other case. Sometimes you just gotta dumb it down. A lot of people didn't peep that was MacDonald Had a Farm. Sometimes people need fucking nursery rhymes to understand.
now that the burden has shifted, the state bears the burden to prove an exception to the warrant requirement in order to seize the personal property of Stephan Stearns. As to the seizure, defense would argue that no consent was either sought nor given for the seizure of the cell phone, as well as the fact that there is no exigent circumstances that would create this to be a constitutional seizure. As to Detective Tagler, the exact evidence that was elicited was that the detective had informed Mr. Stearns unilaterally that she was going to hold on to a cell phone. This was a declarative statement, not a request, and there was no opportunity to refuse the turning over of the cell phone at that point.
Listen, you can't argue that because my client was a pussy who never spoke up for himself ever in his fucking life as a reason for needing to suppress evidence because they did their job wrong. That's his fault. Listen, if I knew I had some bullshit on my phone and the cop said, no, I'm going to take this, I'm gonna be like, no, you can't do that. And then she's going to turn around and be like, well, we're going to get a warrant. Well, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to be like, well, give me my fucking phone back and get a warrant. And then I'll go about my day. See, Stephan Stearns has never had conflict. He's terrified of conflict. I used to think he was terrified of fighting. He's terrified of just any form of conflict. You can't use that as an argument. I'm sorry.
Detective Tagler had the cell phone in hand, was clearly exercising dominion and control over the cell phone, and told the defendant straight up that it didn't matter.
He doesn't even sound convinced himself. When he says the word had control and dominion over the cell phone, he didn't even sound enthused about it. He don't even believe his own words.
Tagler had the cell phone in hand, was clearly exercising dominion and control over the cell phone, and told the defendant straight up that it didn't matter that he wanted to get in touch with his parents or to continue getting in touch with his parents as the night went on, and simply dismissed Mr. Stearns' concerns and unilaterally seized the phone. The seizure of the phone itself occurred at approximately 8 o'clock at night. I believe it was 1959 hours on February 27th. And as of the morning of February 28th, the phone was still in law enforcement's possession. As it was taken to digital forensics at the Orange County Sheriff's Office, the phone was still in law enforcement possession, which we start getting to a point where we're looking at several hours worth of seizure. The state, or the defense, in its motion to suppress based on the unlawful seizure of the cell phone, had cited to United States v. Place where the seizure of personal property in that case was found to be unreasonable for a time span when this personal property was held for 90 minutes. We're well beyond 90 minutes at this point, and there was no attempt to minimize the intrusion of the seizure of the cell phone.
You have to minimize the attempt of the intrusion. It's one thing if you don't know your rights and then they impede upon your rights. You didn't know, they did it anyway, that should be thrown out. There's another thing to where they're doing what's lawful continuously, and you're not telling them to stop. It's the same as me going into the interrogation room and they keep asking me questions I don't like, but I continuously answer them until I go to prison. You can't then go into the courtroom and say, hey, they were intruding in his personal space and made him feel like he couldn't say, I don't want to talk anymore, I need a lawyer. They can't say that. This is the exact same scenario. It's the exact same thing that happens when somebody says too much in the interrogation room, goes to jail, and didn't get a lawyer. They can't come back into the courtroom and say, oh, well, he was too timid to use his rights, and therefore we need to throw out the entire interrogation. You can't do that. I'm sorry.
Looking to the state's response, I understand that the state is going to be arguing exigent circumstances, but there was critical testimony elicited from the digital forensics examination witness who stated that once a factory reset occurred, to law enforcement, there was no hope of getting anything after that. During the first interview before the cell phone was seized, law enforcement knew that the cell phone had been factory reset. They dug through his cell phone and they confirmed that it was factory reset. At that point, no exigent circumstance existed as to imminent destruction of evidence, because at this point, essentially, Your Honor, it was destroyed in law enforcement's eyes. The gentleman testified the fact that there's no time span or immediacy when it comes to learning that the evidence could have potentially been destroyed when it comes to a factory reset. Additionally, the timeline itself of law enforcement's involvement in this case entirely negates the urgency element for the imminent destruction of evidence. From the time that the missing report came in to the time of the seizure of the cell phone itself, it was approximately...
Okay, see, I feel like I should be a lawyer. He's forgetting one key part, though. They asked if he could log into his Google. That has no different. That has nothing to do with that phone being factory reset. And if we go back to her testimony, she did bring up on how she tried to get him to open up his Google account, and he said, "Oh no, he's not connected to it." Okay, so there's more reason to want the phone and try to see if there's anything lingering around that. Like, come on.
20 hours had elapsed. There was no immediate action taken to collect this cell phone, and this lack of immediacy completely contradicts the claimed imminent threat by the state. Additionally, when it comes to the seizure of the phone, there was no warrant ever sought. There's no warrant that was presented. This was, again, unilateral action, even though there's been an emergency judge ready to go on duty since the 80s in the Ninth Judicial Circuit, both for Orange and Osceola counties, for law enforcement to seek a warrant, and yet they chose not to. When it comes to any other potential claimed exceptions, such as the emergency aid exception, it was clear from the detectives that looking through the phone, the seizure of the phone, this was in order to further investigatory purposes. This was not a situation where they were seeking to render any emergency aid. The community caretaking exception to the warrant requirement absolutely doesn't come into play. The phone posed no danger. There was no community protection purpose. This was purely an investigative.
No, it kind of was a community protective purpose, because at that point, Madeline could be alive somewhere. Oh my God, we're looking for Madeline. Oh no. And then he might potentially have information about Madeline. That's protecting the community urgently. I mean, you can attack this defense a million different ways. That's just one thing that he said that you can attack. You could attack everything almost. You know what I'm saying? If we're going by the timeline, Mr. Timeline Man, Madeline was still possibly alive during that time. So it was fucking urgent. More urgent than anything.
As to the attenuation for this warrant, or for the seizure, there is no attenuation from the moment that Detective Tagler took possession of that phone, handed it off to Detective Acosta, and then handed it off to the Osceola, or the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I apologize.
You're fine. I know you have 30 different cases, sir. You're fine. I know you're about to go to your next case in about 30 minutes. So you're good. You're fine. Stephan is fucked.
Intervening circumstances, and this was one continuous chain of possession by law enforcement. So essentially the seizure, Your Honor, there's no warrant that's been sought. There's no exigent circumstance that allows law enforcement to collect this beyond the mere claim that they could just unilaterally take it. So for the seizure itself, we would argue that that's for.
Thank you. Would you like to reply on a motion by motion basis?
Good job, brother. Good job.
In the meantime,
You did good.
I know
You did good.
I cited some of the case law from their motion.
You did good.
I did have the opportunity to review most of the case law. There is one case that I had difficulty finding, so if the defense has a correct site or a copy of the case, I would appreciate it. I could not find appellate versus state, the site that you cite, I could not locate. It's on page 7 of your seizure motion. As far as the...
I'm telling you, these folks get lunch together. They see each other every day. He's just public defender Dan. You know, what's up, Dan? How you doing today? Hey, remember Stephan Stearns last week? What the fuck, you weirdo. I'll see you May 5th, though. I'll see you. You know, like, public defenders, come on, man. He's fucked.
Defense's argument. The defense relies on place, and place is actually distinguishable. Your Honor, I did provide a court exhibit A. I also have a flash drive. I prepared all of the state's case law from the motion, and I put it on a USB organized by motion so that it was easier to be accessible rather than providing a bunch of paper copies. The state's relying on all the case law presented in the motion, and I made it a court exhibit so that it's in the record for appellate purposes. The first thing that we need to do...
Remember when they were calling it the Appellate Court? Wade Wilson's team, the Apple Light Court. That shit was funny.
Your Honor, is decide whether or not, or what type of seizure this was. I would agree with defense that this was a warrantless seizure of the defendant's cell phone. A warrantless seizure of the defendant's cell phone is permissible when you have probable cause plus a warrant exception. In this case, the state's relying on exigent circumstances. The probable cause, there's numerous case law that defines probable cause. The court's well aware of the case law defining probable cause and what it is. Exigent circumstances, there's also a lot of case law regarding exigent circumstances. The specific cases that the state is relying on are U.S. v. Babcock, State v. Darter. The state has to show for exigent.
All right, lock it in, ma'am. Lock it in.
The test that's used is an objective one. The factual inquiry is the totality of the circumstances. The exigent circumstance that the state is relying on in this particular case is the destruction of the evidence. Courts have found this exception particularly compelling when you're dealing with digital evidence, and that can be found in the Babcock case. We have detectives who are on scene with the defendant, and at the time that the defendant's cell phone is seized, which is approximately 8 p.m., they had the opportunity to view some of the items in his cell phone. They also knew that Madeline Soto did not report to school. Madeline Soto has been missing for over 24 hours. The defendant was the last individual to have seen...
She's saying exactly what I said. It was very... What's the word? It was very pressuring circumstances. She used the word. I forgot. It came right out of my brain. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on today. It might be the ganja, but she's saying the same thing. It was very needed. We needed this information immediately if we even felt like he had something to do with anything.
Madeline Soto alive or seen her in person. The defendant attempted to destroy evidence already by factory resetting his phone. He did this on the same day as Madeline's disappearance. That's evidenced by the history that is in his phone that he consented to looking at. The sergeant from the forensics unit testified what it takes to go ahead and factory reset the phone, but he also indicated that when a phone...
We're not going to get too deep into it. How to factory reset a Samsung. Let's see if we get show more. What'd I tell you? 6 fucking steps. And we have to add 7 and 8 because you have to enter your password in between all of this. So 8 steps to reset to reset a typical Samsung of different phones and years may vary. Bullshit.
Logs into the Google account and the backup starts repopulating, which is what happened in this case, that content will stay on the phone as long as the phone is not syncing with the Google Cloud account.
I know Stephan wants to just fucking punch himself in the face because he reset that bitch and he was halfway to prosperity. Imagine, bro. Imagine the detective opens that phone up. They log into his Google account and everything just starts resyncing to the phone. The old wallpaper, the old text messages, the photos, everything comes back. I know he felt like listen, I know every single day Stephan Stearns hates himself for not making sure that Google Drive was empty. But you know what? He probably wanted to keep those photos. You know what? It probably crossed his mind. But he said, nah, they're not going to check this. They wouldn't know about this. And he left them there. He fucked himself, man. Haha.
There's evidence and testimony that upon the seizure of the phone, law enforcement officers placed the phone in airplane mode to prevent that.
Marley, what's
Should
good?
The defendant have access
Welcome
to
back.
his Google account and removed multiple items from the Google account, it would not have removed it from that particular cell phone because that cell phone was in airplane mode and was no longer syncing with the Google account.
How did it sync? How did it repopulate?
Judge, do you not know how to work a phone? Don't ask these questions, Judge. Come on now. No, I'm playing.
When the phone was factory reset and that information
Was removed?
corresponding with that Google Cloud account was input upon the starting up of the phone, everything that was backed up on the Google account
Goes
from
back
that
to the phone.
began populating on the phone. And that's the 2 a.m. population that Sergeant Stamanik mentioned that occurred the early morning hours of February 27th. So prior to these interviews, all of those photos and everything else began to populate on that phone that was in his backup. So when law enforcement saw that there were various...
Good old Google. Listen, good old fashioned Google Cloud. You know, that's the easy fix. He could have deleted that shit. He just didn't. And I think that was a choice. That was a choice. He wanted his little trophies and whatnot. He wanted his little memorial in his own sick way. Good old Google. Right back to the phone. Hey, we have your data. You accidentally deleted it. Google thought they were being so helpful. Fucked his whole shit up. Love it.
Items missing, and the defendant had already tried to destroy the evidence. It was at that point that they seized the phone, placed it in airplane mode.
Yo, what's good,
further destruction
Elaine? How you
of
doing?
evidence. There was
Shout out
also
JSP.
testimony that even though the defendant factory reset the phone, there was still a possibility through different avenues to ascertain that cell phone's location information and different things. So at that point in time, there was a fear that was objectively reasonable to a reasonable law enforcement officer that would lead that officer to believe that the evidence might be destroyed before a warrant could be secured. That is the standard. Probable cause plus exigency.
That's the word. Exigency. Meaning hurry up. We need to do it quick. That was the word she was using.
That was known to these law enforcement officers prior to this seizure supports the probable cause finding as well as the exigency finding. They also were aware that the defendant was inconsistent in his statements to law enforcement about where his whereabouts were on February.
How do you spell that? Exigency. Urgent. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
26th, the day that Madeline Soto went missing, because his initial statements were contradicted by the actual tag reader for his vehicle. His vehicle was seen traveling in the opposite direction of Madeline Soto's school when he indicated that he was driving towards the school and going to McDonald's and dropping her off. There were other inconsistencies there.
Stephan never looks at the prosecutor, ever. He looks at the judge as if the judge is going to fucking help him. He never turns to prosecution. A little terrified. He probably will pee himself a little bit if he looks at that woman.
Within those statements that he made, specifically the ones that were provided to the court and are entered into exhibits in this particular hearing, there are multiple inconsistencies. All of these things lead to probable cause and exigent circumstances for the seizure of that.
What's up, a crime to remember?
Seizure was
Welcome in.
permitted by the Fourth Amendment in this case, regardless of whether the defendant said, yeah, go ahead and take my phone. The law enforcement officers had the ability to do that. The defense also mentioned place. That case is distinguishable because in that initial detention, that 90-minute detention that they're talking about in there was based upon reasonable suspicion alone. That court then later says that once that dog sniff was done on the luggage and they developed probable cause, that's where they get the 90 minutes from the time that the luggage is detained until they've secured probable cause. That's not the standard here because the state's relying on the probable cause plus the exigency to support the seizure. So the place case is actually inapplicable to this case as far as the defense's attempt to have the reasoning support their argument.
Thank you. Brief rebuttal, and then let's move on.
Briefly, while the state argues that there's the two-prong analysis as to probable cause and the exigency, again, when it comes to the exigency, the direct testimony that was listed during the hearing is that to law enforcement, there is no exigency at the point that the phone is known to have been factory reset, that there is no imminent destruction of evidence because there's no further destruction of evidence. It's already been destroyed. So while we can speculate and guess as to what Tagler and Acosta, the detectives on scene, were thinking as to seizing the phone, what we know for a
That's not going to fly. That's not going to fly.
Again, the burden is flipped to the state. They have the burden of proof to
All right, bro. I appreciate you.
And at this point, after pressing Mr. Stearns agrees, but again, this is, limited consent.
He's just restating what he just said. Bro, we heard you the first fucking time.
To merely looking at the settings screen to determine if he's logged into Google. At no point did any of the detectives or any member of law enforcement seek consent from Mr. Stearns to go through the rest of his cell phone, which then we can see Detective Tagler's overstepping the scope of consent when she later indicates, I was checking your call history, I noticed that you don't have anything before this morning, but when questioned, and as evidenced in the recordings that Your Honor has, there was never any consent sought or given as to checking the search.
He's saying the same thing. I'm not listening to this again.
By a vehicle, he's not allowed to go back.
I've listened to this 3 times already. I'm about to lose my mind.
Inside of his home. He's not allowed to go inside of his own car. When it comes to the apartment complex, there's law enforcement all around.
I was looking at Yuck for Tube. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Law enforcement at the entrance regulating who's coming and going outside of the apartment complex. It's clear that law enforcement essentially has the scene locked down.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, big bro. Additionally,
the ability to refuse consent. Additionally, law enforcement never told him that he could refuse to allow them.
You don't have to tell somebody. All right, am I required to tell somebody? Former police officers, wives of police officers, all the police officers, do you have to inform somebody of their fucking rights? To be honest, if I had to do that, it would take me 15 minutes just to start searching somebody as a police officer. Like, oh yeah, by the way, did you know sir, that you had the right to deny a search of your vehicle? And also, did you know that certain gun laws allow you to carry that gun on, like, you're going to get shot before you finish telling everybody their rights. As a citizen that lives in a fucking country, let's dumb it down a little bit, that lives in a fucking city at least, you should know what your rights are at the very basic minimum. That doesn't mean anything. Oh, they didn't tell him that he could refuse. What? They didn't tell him to suck their dick either, but he could. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. But you get what I'm saying.
The ability to
I didn't have a good comparison, so I just threw that one out. Some shock value.
refuse consent. Additionally, law enforcement never told him that he could refuse to allow them to look through his phone. As to
I'm gonna rewind that one more time. He actually just said that.
to refuse consent. Additionally, law enforcement never told him
Law enforcement never told him that he could say no. Law enforcement never said that. So, like, come on. Come on.
to refuse to allow them to look through his phone. As to the education and intelligence.
Bro, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm sorry. I can't do it anymore. I tried. I attempted, but I can't.
Free to leave. Both defendants. Your Honor, the defense is not arguing that the defendant did not consent to law enforcement looking at his phone. Some of the things that I think are important to point out to the court.
No, but reading you your rights doesn't even count, Cher, because that's when they arrest you and shit. He's just talking about, I'm just talking about knowing your rights if someone can search your property or not. She said, do we need to get a warrant or no? That was her, like, you're an adult. You're not a child. Her saying, do we need to get a warrant or will you let us search the phone, is saying that you have an option to not give us the phone until we obtain the warrant. They didn't have to say verbatim, you can say no to this search, but we will get a warrant. No, they'll say, give me your phone. Give me your phone. You're saying no? Okay, well, we'll get a warrant. Like, you could do it either way. You could do it either way. Anyways, I'm done.
Is that the defendant in this case was free to leave. Both law enforcement officers that were interacting with him were in an open parking lot where he was free to move about. He was in and out of Miss Soto's vehicle.
All right, let's just see what the judge says because she's repeating what she said as well. Let's just see what the judge said. This shit's starting to get mad repetitive. That was pretty much the whole hearing, though. Now it's just to hear what the judge has to say.
They have a conversation. She brings up that the call log.
See, they're just, this is like the summary of the entire. I feel like I could repost, like I can't because I skipped it all. But if I were to repost literally the ending of this of this hearing, that would be all you need to know. The last fucking 20 minutes.
I also noticed, I was checking 16. Like to that is that
I think as fast as I type, so I was with you up to extent of cooperation.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Appearance and
oh, so this is where you guys say the stream just goes black?
Consented is he believed that everything.
that looking to Mr. Stearns' belief that he was free to leave. Again, this isn't on law enforcement's operations. It's based on what a reasonable person would believe in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Here, while we don't have
Oh, wow. So what happened? Do you guys know? Let's search it up because apparently the stream just dies. Let's reload it.
as to the state's argument that looking to Mr. Stearns' belief that he was free, a person would.
So the stream froze. Let's look it up. Somebody definitely posted it. It has to be over by now. Somebody definitely posted it. Suppression, hearing. Shit, nobody posted it? This is old. Do you guys know? So nobody knows yet. Is that? Hold on, give me 1 second. Now it's like my YouTube doesn't even want to work. What's going on?
Thank you.
Oh my god, that's so fucking loud. So he figured out his audio, clearly.
Right, the court has 3 motions before it filed.
Alright, we're gonna do that on mute because I don't know what the fuck is going on.
But here, this is what we're going to do, okay? I'll keep my eye on it until I finish my workday. And then let's come back at 7:30 tonight, our normal time. I'll prepare a couple things to go over that we can discuss a little bit. Hopefully I'll be able to like reboot my computer, get my comment system working again.
All right, cool. Interesting. Watch Grizzly and checking for your channel to see. What's up, Melissa? Yeah, so let's check out Grizzly real quick. Oh, here she is. Streamed 30 minutes ago. What did she have to say?
And then I'm gonna put a pinned comment for you, all right? Because I'm gonna do timestamps.
As to the state's argument that looking to Mr. Stearns' belief that he was free to leave, again, this isn't on law enforcement's observations. It's based on what a reasonable person would believe in that situation. Here, while we don't have...
There. That's where the feed just stops. So that's interesting. Let's just see. Oh, yeah, okay. The feed just stopped. So let me just quickly see what they're doing here. Nope.
Jen, you said you don't like looking at that fella. That's the first time I ever clicked on his channel. It's because the Stephan Stern stuff is getting really, it's popping off. So a lot of channels are popping up for me.
Let me just find this one. Hold on 1 second.
I fuck with Grizzly True Crime, though. She's the shit.
Let's see.
She's legit.
Yeah, the same happens on all the court feeds. So we are at the mercy of the court feeds. So that defense attorney had about 2 minutes left to argue his point of why they think it should be, you know, this evidence should be suppressed. The judge will have to make his ruling on it. Once we know what the ruling is, I'm going to be monitoring the court. You know, so
nobody knows.
The court sites.
Everybody's
I'll be
monitoring
monitoring X as well and the news, and then I will have a look and I will pin a comment so that you know, well, did the judge rule today or not? I don't know if the judge will rule today, right?
I don't think the
Trial
judge
TV
will,
live.
to be real.
You were also live. You said the feed dies. I know, right? What the hell? Now, I'm so grateful that we were able to see what we were able to see already. So let me just quickly type in here Stephan Stern just to see if there's anything on the news.
I'm actually pissed.
Just wait. Stephan Stearns. Yeah, no, there's nothing yet. So the best plan, as you could see, so for people saying other content creators have the last 2 minutes, it's not possible because the court feeds literally cut at the same time for all of us. We are all at the mercy of the court feeds. So if Jenica, if you are still in chat, that's one of Madeline Soto's advocates, please let us know. That would be a good idea, actually. I'm going to email her back. If Jenica could let us know what happened in those last 2 minutes, that would be amazing. And then I'm gonna put a pinned comment for you, all right? Because I'm gonna do timestamps, and then I'll put in a little update there of what happened and what we're waiting for. I would assume we're waiting for the judge, obviously, to make a ruling on all 3 motions, and I would only assume that it could take a little bit of time, right?
Yeah.
Louise, thanks for being a member for 2 months. Thank you so much all for watching that with me. I can see, obviously, we welcome all opinions. There's lots of divided opinions. Majority feels that, well, Stephan Stearns gave consent. So, like, what the hell?
How the fuck is there a divided opinion? I guess her channel is massive, so you get dumbasses in the mix. Damn, you know, Grizzly True Crime, she had like 350,000 subscribers when I like bumped into her, and she has 413 now. Holy shit. But yeah, she's massive, so I feel like she just gets a whole bunch of dead brains, like just randomly that pass through.
The issue, you know, he's just upset that he got caught. Like, how in the hell? There we go. Janika is here. You said, I'm here. Thank you for being here. Could you perhaps ask the community advocate that's in the courtroom?
You said she posted on her shorts? Let's see. Everybody, if you're not subscribed to Grizzly True Crime, I don't know what you're doing. Shorts. I like her because she's a super thorough researcher, man. I wish I was at that level. Stearns trial date.
As promised, I have an update since the 3-hour motions to suppress hearing featuring Stephan Stearns. Guess what? His trial has been delayed again. The judge, my playlist, I'm going to put a link to rule on.
She didn't post nothing on her shorts. Why would you tell me that? Why you do that? You're not subscribed? I mean, it's up to you, but she's cool. She's lit. Anyways, folks, I'm going to get up out of here. Look out for a video. I'm about to post it in 1 moment. I appreciate everybody for coming out. I will catch up with you guys. Oh, I see what you're saying. I will catch up with you guys. Well, I'm dropping the video at 3:30 PST. And then I might catch up with you guys later on this evening. So,